Your attention to the track where we will begin our senior night. At this time, we would like to take the opportunity to recognize our senior athletes and their parents. Their commitment and hard work over the past 4 years has been greatly appreciated. There is no doubt that SVHS is a better place because of their involvement. We'll start with cheer. Nevada Atchison, daughter of Jill and Steve Atchison. Ashlyn Bryant, daughter of Sandy and Destin Bryant. Mackenzie Burks, daughter of Sabrina and Leroy Burks. Helena Mader, daughter of Rhea and Justin Mader. Amanda Riley, daughter of Monica and Ed Riley. Skylar Venables, daughter of Angela and Chris Venables. Harley Watkins, daughter of Jaron and Brandon Watkins. Thanks for the cheerleaders for cross country. Nevada, who just walked for cheer, is also one of our cross country participants. We have Logan Bodenhammer, son of Rick and Julie Bodenhammer. Ashlyn Bryant, who was one of our cheerleaders, also is a cross country participant. We have Zoe Grace, daughter of Janine Cumberland and Robbie Grace. Casey Lindstrom, son of Carl Lindstrom. David Orchard, son of Sheila and Kim Orchard. Aiden Replogle, son of Sean and Allison Flory Replogle. Kaylee Ryan, daughter of Daniel Ryan and Shannon Ryan. And Devin Van Fossen, son of Chris and Carrie Van Fossen. Next up, we have girls tennis. Gracie Gaskell, daughter of Amanda and Sam Francisco and Billy and Susan Gaskell. Emily Jones, daughter of Elisa Jones and Seth Jones. Elena McMillan, daughter of Michelle and Barry McMillan. Sage Mort, daughter of Jennifer Bate. Isabel Wright, daughter of Kim and Jason Wright. And Rachel Yenny, daughter of Kim and David Yenny. Next we have Wildfires. We have Taylor Barnes, daughter of Jill and Curtis Barnes. Ellie Flynn, daughter of Laura and Mark Flynn. Carissa Kindlesparger, daughter of Marcy and Kevin Kindlesparger. And Elena McMillan, who also is in tennis, is also a Wildfire, daughter of Michelle and Barry McMillan. We'd like to give a huge thank you to our seniors and their parents. Please give this group one more round of applause. All right, thank you, senior athletes and parents. We will do the football seniors separately in approximately 7 minutes. defensive starters for Rock Creek. Number 3, Dawson Zanger. Number 4, Skylar Forge. Number 5, Brooks Whaley. Number 8, Braden LaRock. Number 12, Charlie Killingsworth. Number 46, Nick Gomez. Number 50, Christian Davis. Number 54, Brent Golden. Number 58, Tyler Bailey. Number 59, Cody Loke. Number 70, Dayton Trent. The Mustangs are coached by Shane Sieben, assisted by Garen Bean, Patrick Bramhall, Billy Golden, Monty Spiller, and Tyler Wendland. For the starters for the Vikings, number 4, Andrew Peters. Number 6, Haven Lysell. Number 11, Raleigh Wilson. Number 15, Jake Lucas. Number 24, Trey Kennedy. Number 54, Court Shugren. Number 44, Brewster Bankston. Number 55, Grant Lysell Alkire. Number 58, Dax Hop. Number 72, Tevin Duncan. And number 74, Skylar Hopkins. The Vikings are coached by Tim Lambert, assisted by James Henderson, Chris McClure, Ben Elliott, Alan Meyer, and Chuck Peters. Officials for tonight's game are Brian Hope, Dale Lutz, Stephen Coleman, David Pettis, and Paul Gilliams. Our chain crew, we'd like to thank them. They are Doug Malm, Darren Heitschmidt, Larry Vanderwig, and Brenton Anderson. Again, don't forget the shrimp boil being done by the music department and the baseball concessions and that 50-50 raffle. Get your tickets tonight. We're drawing in the third quarter.
6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. on weekends. No need to be an established patient.
At this time, we would like to do our senior football introductions. Our first football player, Brewster Bankston, son of Ken Bankston and Stephanie and Keith Lawrence. Tevin Duncan, son of Rodney Duncan and Jan Duncan. Dax Hop, son of Dwight Hop and Jennifer Krug. Trey Kennedy, son of Bill and Amy Kennedy. Chance Krukenberg, son of Eric and Erica Krukenberg. Grant Lysell Alkire, son of Jeremy Alkire and Erica Lysell. Andrew Peters, son of Chuck Peters and Robin Peters. Colin Silver, host son of David and Carrie Moore. Caden Venables, son of Chris and Angela Venables. And Raleigh Wilson, son of Sam and Stacy Wilson. A big round of applause for our Viking football seniors, please. Thank you for your work for the team over the last 4 years. Let's play ball.
think they're going to make a game for it, and we'll see what happens here in the night. We'll take another 1-minute timeout. We got Coach Lambert's interview coming up for you. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football, back in a little bit.
I really appreciate the faculty and staff here at Bethany. They care about their students and they're helping them achieve their goals and to be successful.
It's a Christian-based college, and I felt that he was in the right hands when I left him here.
We chose Bethany College so my son could have a good life.
If you want inspired learning at an affordable price, choose Bethany College. Learn more about your good life at bethanylb.edu.
People's Bank and Trust takes pride in its heritage of service to the customer and features 12 locations in central Kansas. People's Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Smoky Valley and Bethany College. Member FDIC.
Lidsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
And welcome back to more Viking Pregame. Don Bings along with Coach Tim Lambert as you get ready to take on the Rock Creek. I forgot what they are. Mustang. There we go. Mustang. Rock Creek Mustangs on Friday night, senior night. But looking back, the first half at Halstead was pretty good, but the second half they really got away from you a little bit.
Yeah, I thought our kids came out and played as hard as they could, and you know, we did some good things defensively. We gave them some. You know, Halstead a very good offensive football team. We gave them some problems. We kind of took away from what they wanted to do, and it was just the other things that they did that are outside of what they normally do that hurt us. They ran a reverse down there and then punched it in a long play where they were having trouble running the ball, and then to end the half they threw a pass, 33 yards. Looked like we were in perfect position to intercept it, and their kid went up and out muscled our D-back for the ball, and so we go in down 3 scores.
And then the onside kick happened. That took everybody's surprise, including us on the radio. We had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was well executed. I'm not sure exactly. You're up 24-0. I think I would have saved that for maybe some time when I needed it, but it sure caught us off guard. And we weren't ready for it, and so gave the ball right back to them, and then we didn't. We did all right and had them. They had some penalties, and we had them in 2nd or 3rd and long, and the quarterback got loose on a scramble and made a first down, and that seemed to just kind of take the wind right out of our sails, any that we had left, and when you're battling so hard just to stay in a game, and it's just really difficult to continue to emotionally, play at that kind of effort and level for 4 quarters when you're outmatched physically. And I thought our kids, hung in there even after that, but it was obvious that we didn't have anything left.
And you got a kid coming in tonight or Friday night for Rock Creek that's a mismatch too. He's a great passer. He drops back and he scrambles, and he's got a lot of passing yards and a lot of running yards. So really going to have somebody spying on him a lot. Yeah, he's a really good athlete, their quarterback, and we're going to have to try to limit the big plays that he has, and once again, if we can try to get him in 3rd and long and give us a chance to get him off the field, that's really important. How about our offense, though? We need to generate some first downs, get some running game going a little bit better. Trey's had some good moments, but still hasn't been able to be as consistent as anybody would like. Yeah, I think that we've had trouble running the ball the last 2 weeks, definitely against Halstead and against Chapman. And they were big. They were really big, and we're not very big up front, and we just weren't able to get any push on the line of scrimmage, and so therefore we had a really hard time running the ball. Rock Creek's not as big, so maybe we'll be able to execute a little bit better and stay on our blocks a little bit longer. Maybe we can run the ball a little bit, and then that'll open up some
play action pass and things like that. So, we're hoping we can do that and keep the ball out of their quarterback's hands.
You get to celebrate a senior night. You've got a senior class that you always become close to because they're leaders for you, and a good class, good group of kids tonight. You're saying thanks for being seniors for us. Yeah, anytime you get young men that have been in your program for 3 or 4 years, you get attached a little bit, and I'm sure that these guys, were the expectations were to win more games than what we have so far, but they worked hard. Many of them worked just as hard as any of the the past 3 teams we've had that made it to the playoffs, and so you feel bad for them, and you're gonna miss them, and I know I'm gonna miss them, and I hope I wish them the best. Well, good luck on Friday night, Coach. Thank you. Tim Lambert of the Vikings, and we'll be back with more pregame right after this.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina is the perfect place to get that one-of-a-kind item for yourself or that special someone. Vernon Jewelers, located at 123 North Santa Fe in downtown Salina, is a proud supporter of area athletics.
Give us a call at Hometown Outdoor Power in Salina, Minneapolis, and McPherson to get your mowers. Sign up for our winter service program. Don't forget to ask about the early sign-up promotion when you call.
Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service, and coverage for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
You're listening to Smoky Valley
And welcome
Vikings
back to
Athletics.
Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field on the campus of Bethany College. I want to thank our sponsors that help us with our portion of the broadcast, including Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tesket, Viking Auto, People's Bank and Trust, Christian Funeral Home, Call Mari Loader at Caldwell Banker Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, Arn Reinert CPA, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farm Bureau, Farmer State Bank, Lindsberg Family Dental Care, Gallant Tire and Auto, Old Stuga, C&L Heating and Cooling, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, and Dower Welding. How about a couple quick keys to victory, Jason?
Yep, Anderson Body Shop, keys to victory. Anderson Body Shop is the place for all of your auto collision needs. They're also your local Green Mountain Grill distributor, located at 214 South Cole Street in Lindsberg. I think just right off the top, Smoky Valley's got to get off early to an early start tonight. Use the momentum from senior night, and don't give up big plays.
Kickoff is underway. Vikings deferred to the second half. Rock Creek picks it up at 25, trying to get upfield, cutting up middle, and getting up to about the 30-yard line. And that's where they'll start 1st and 10 with their first possession of the night. And the Vikings, all black uniforms tonight, black helmets, black shirts, black pants, trimmed in white lettering. And the Rock Creek is white and black as well. We got a little orange trim in our uniforms with their black pants, white shirts, black helmets. And their quarterback is everything. Their Killingsworth will take it and throw it. He'll take it and run it. So they really like to pass. They're going to spread one receiver far to the far side, 2 on the near side. He's in a pistol formation, which puts him with a back behind him as a flanker to the left side, dropping back, rolling out to pass under pressure. Going to go deep down the middle, and Brewster Bankson, great position, but he can't hang on to the ball. So almost a pick on the first play of the game.
Yeah, they had a guy deep over here, number 5, Whaley. I believe is the number 1 receiver this year. About 46 catches for him, and he had some space. The ball was left short, although it was a pretty decent throw. But Brewster Bankston cut underneath it, had the ball in his mitts, had an opportunity to get a swing play right out of the get-go. Just couldn't quite come up with it. But a good stop there by the Vikings, and that'll force a second down.
Almost 40 yards downfield is where that pass was intended. Same formation with a receiver on the far side, 2 on the near side. Now Whaley is in motion. Going to hand it off on a little flip pass. He's trying to get to the far side. He's got some running room. He's near first down yardage, driven out of there by
think that was Brant Hebel who finally pushes him out. Again, that little front pass, that is actually a pass and not a handoff. So if they drop that, that's an incompletion. So if you look at that perspective and you see that Whaley has 46 catches, there may be a number of them that have been that little green sweep type look where they just flip it up to him on the cut, and he takes that one there and picks up a nice 6-7 yard gain.
Brant Hebel and Brewster Binkson are the corners. Safeties are Kennedy and Peters, so they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight. Third down and about 3 for Rock Creek here on their initial possession. No score in the ballgame yet. Man in motion, Whaley, bad snap, but the quarterback keeps it. But he's going to be tackled, and he's going to get up near first down yardage, but he won't make it. He'll just get to the 40. He's got to get to the 41, so right away here's the pressure coming from the Rock Creek, and they don't look like they're sending a punt team out.
Now, that snap came out high. They were trying to run that same sweep coming back the other way, and it came in high, and Killingsworth had to take it himself that time, and Raleigh Wilson was back there in a heartbeat. He stretched, but he's going to be a good yard and a half away from that first down as they're going to go for it here on 4th and 1.
So a big 4th down in Viking territory at the 40-yard line. Killingsworth is in that pistol formation with the back beside him this time. Now Whaley is in motion. Going to keep it and run to himself and tuck it. He's got big room across midfield on the far side over down to the 40, 35, 30, and driven out of bounds about the 25-yard line. So he just waited for a hold to develop, found it, and got into free space and picked up a big play.
Yeah, it looks like a 34-yard gain there by Killingsworth. He takes it from his own 40, and again, just kind of faking that sweep coming across, and he ends up following the blocker going through the middle and cuts back to the far side of the field and takes it down the field before Andrew Peters is finally able to knock him out.
He is their big threat guy. He throws it well and he runs it well, so Vikings got to contain him a little better. Now he's got to tie his shoe here for a moment. They still have plenty of time on their play clock. People running every which way on switching sides of the field, actually. 2 receivers each way this time at the 25-yard line. Dropping back the pass, looking far side, still looking now. He's going to tuck it and run. He's going to get a yard, maybe 2 at the most. Good defense by the Vikings closing in. Raleigh Wilson and a couple of others there.
Yeah, Skylar Hopkins in there on that play as well from his lineman position there, or linebacker position. Couldn't tell where he was at starting today, but he gets out there in a hurry and is able to make a play. It looks like the Vikings have really taken it upon themselves to stop that passing game tonight, which is going to leave the opportunity for Killingsworth to maybe be able to slice and dice up front, but I know we're not wanting to get beat by the deep ball.
Good effort. Holds Killingsworth to 1 yard. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Now flanker in motion to the near side. Snap is good. Handoff, direct handoff this time, trying to get outside. Good defense, Vikings, but he gets a little seam and goes up there for more as Forge. And Forge forges ahead inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone.
Rock Creek is in the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. I tell you, Killingsworth just looks like a smooth athlete the way he moves out there on the field. And that time Forge takes the handoff, like you said, has a nice pickup. But Killingsworth, like you said, really makes him go.
Third down and about 3. Now Forge is in motion. Now quarterback Killingsworth's going to keep it. Has just followed his blocking, waiting for that hole to develop, and he gets across the 15 down to the 14. So enough yardage to move the 6 one more time. So they've kept ahead of the chains, albeit 1 4th down, but they made a big gain on that 4th down.
And you notice most of these plays have been via the run. It's like I said, the Vikings have really stressed that they're going to get back in pass defense, and they have kind of adjusted things back there to make sure that they are in pass defense. But that is leaving the middle open for Forge, for Whaley to run the ball, and also for Killingsworth to carve him up.
3 receivers to the near side. He's going to take the ball on the option, passes it out to Whaley, and he's got no room, or Forge, and he's got nowhere to go. Good defense, Vikings, maybe even a half-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, Haven Lysell Stewart, one of the first ones there, as well as a host of other Vikings to help him out. But looked like we handled our pitch principles very well there. That's been an issue here over the course of the last couple of weeks, but very well played that time by the near side of the field here.
First down marker was at about the 9.5-yard line, so the back end of the ball is touching the 15-yard line, 14, so it's touching the 15, so actually about a length of the football loss on that play. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Pistol formation for Killingsworth now. Whaley in motion, passes to him again, that short little flip pass. He's trying to get outside. He's got a little bit of the corner. He's at the 5. He is touchdown. Found the pylon at the corner and ran over it. Touchdown. Whaley, and Rock Creek with 7:45 left to go in the first quarter puts points on the board first.
Yeah, and as we pointed out, Whaley's been such a successful player for them in the receiving game with 46 receptions this year and 6 touchdowns. And, of course, like we said, that little flip pass into the front there is a pass play, so that'll be a 7th receiving touchdown of the year. And their edge guys block very well over there. Really had a hat on the Vikings and were able to get the score.
Kick for the extra point. Snap is good. The hold is down. The kick looks good, and it is good. And with 7:45 left to go in the first quarter, Rock Creek breaks on top 7-0. Back with the ensuing kickoff right after this.
Do you feel the need for seed? How about the need to save? Get both with the early pay discount from Phelps Seed, your Pioneer sales professional. Buy before December 12th and your fields will get Pioneer's award-winning seed and technology, and you'll get some big-time savings. That's Phelps Seed, with you from the word go.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, and like we mentioned earlier, it is so good to be at home. The field is marked good. We got a lot of room in our press box at home. We're kind of cramped once in a while at some of the other places with all the people that facilitate a game. And like at Halstead last week, we had about a dozen of us in that little press box, and you get a little backfeed noise, but it certainly is nice to be at home.
But we did get a cinnamon roll last week.
Yeah, we
did
get
That was kind of a bonus. They treated us really well at Halstead, took good care of us. Hamburger, a cinnamon roll. So just a hint for Mr. Swisher if he's listening.
Yeah.
Bringing some of those up for us. But, no, it is good to be home. The Vikings obviously setting up, expecting an onside kick here. We've got 5 guys in tight. Now they kind of spread out and prepare for this kickoff.
Kick deep for the Vikings is Kennedy and Peters standing back about the 15, 16-yard line. The kicker for them is number 2, Bryant Golden. Gets the signal from the white hat, approaches the ball, and Vikings will look to get their first possession. It bounces on the ground right in the middle, picked up by Peters, and he's going to go down. No, it wasn't Peters. It was
Shugren.
Might have been,
Shugren,
Court
yep.
Shugren. It was Court Shugren. So he saw it bounce and nobody there quick enough, and the Vikings have good field position at the 32-yard line where they start their first possession. And Vikings certainly need to grind this one out and get a good scoring possession on their own.
They did. Moved the ball well at times last week. Just couldn't quite see pay dirt out of it to the point where we could get back in the game. But really need to get things going here on our first possession.
Binkson and Hebel far to the far side, turn and hand it off to Wilson, the first guy through, and he'll get up to the 35-yard line. So he'll get a gain of 3, second down and 7.
I think it's important here to kind of punch that defense in the mouth a little bit. They've got to kind of come out and establish what we're good at, force those guys to have to defend us. You know, of all the teams we play this year, they probably play the fewest guys both are on the same side of both sides.
Right.
They have a lot of subs they're playing. So it's going to be important for us to take advantage of time of possession and really try to get that in our favor.
Wishbone formation for the Vikings this time. Going to hand it off to the second man through Kennedy. He's going to get up across the 40 and up near first down yardage at the 41. They'll mark him just a little bit short, but the linemen doing a good job, including Court Shugren, Grant Lykesell, Alkire, Dax Hopp, Tevin Duncan, and Skylar Hopkins is doing a great job of blocking. And then, of course, you throw Haven Lysell Stewart in as a tight end. That's what pushes that defensive line back, and that was a great effort.
Tell you, Trey Kennedy had a guy on his back about the 35-yard line. Number 31, Richards, was on him, and he just carried him all the way out to the 41.
I formation, double tight this time with the flanker to the far side, turn and hand it off to Wilson, the first guy through, and he's got first down yardage, and he burst through the pile up to the 46-yard line, so a 5-yard gain by Raleigh Wilson moves the chains for the Vikings.
Yeah, almost broke through there. There was a big pile of guys, looked like he was in the middle of the pile, and all of a sudden he popped out of the end of that to the 46 here. If he could have kept his feet, it would still be running. So it was a really good run by Raleigh and a nice job by the offensive line, creating holes and allowing the backs to get through them.
I formation again for Jake Lucas, turn and hand it off. He's going to keep it himself this time, roll down the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get a couple yards where he'll be second down and 8. But Coach Lambert mentioned in my interview with him, this is the first time in several weeks that we haven't had huge offensive linemen on the defensive set. So he was pretty anxiously awaiting that our linemen can certainly do a good job this week.
Yeah, we've been just overall poundage. We've been out pounded just in weight over the last couple of weeks. And like you said, these guys are not guys that are intimidating. Good athletes, but not that size that we're used to seeing.
I formation again on second. Not a good spot. It gets 9. Kennedy, though, gets a good run. He's down across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. So he gets about 8 on that carry. It's going to be 3rd down and just 1.
I tell you, Jake Lucas saved one there. He did a little basketball bounce in the backfield there. As the ball came out, he dropped it, and it went right to the ground, bounced right back up to him. He was able to complete the handoff to Kennedy, and he picks up a nice gain. And the Vikings are staying ahead of the sticks right now, which has been something we've talked about week after week when we've had 3rd and 13s and 3rd and 9s. And now we're back to a 3rd and 1. Very manageable, very, very good play for the Vikings to get a lot of choices.
Kennedy almost looked like he waited a little bit for Jake to make sure where that ball was going. So 3rd down and 1. Here comes Kennedy trying the left side. He's got first down yardage and more. Runs through a would-be tackler and gets across the 40-yard line. Great effort by Kennedy. He just carried that would-be tackler with him.
There's a lot of patience right now. I enjoy what I see from the Viking runners. You know, you've got Wilson who hits that hole extremely hard, and I agree with you. I think on the play before, Kennedy waited to make sure the angle was there and that he was going to receive the handoff. This time, kind of picked his way across the near side until he had a chance to find the open gap and carried a tackler with him for a while. And so some nice spirited play by our offense this week.
And it starts up front with the linemen we just mentioned. They're doing such a great job of finding a man and blocking. I formation with a flanker near side behind Jake Lucas. Turn and hand it off. No, he's going to keep it himself. Go to Kennedy. This time he's going to get bottled up, but second effort gets him maybe a yard, maybe 2, as he tried outside, and then he paused, maybe even took a step back and forged ahead in the middle of the line.
Yeah, number 22, Henning, hit him first, kind of popped him back about a yard or 2, and then he just kind of let him drop and hit the hole again a second time. And, you know, what looked like might be a 1 to maybe 2 yard loss turns out to be about a 1 yard gain. So saves a few yards for us, doesn't pick up a lot, but at the same time could have been worse.
Could have been, first or second down and more than 10. 2nd down and 9, we'll call it. Wide receiver is Brewster Bengtson to the far side. Lucas under center. Going to toss this time, try to get outside to Kennedy, trying to get the corner. Good pursuit by their defense, and they'll run him out of bounds with no gain on the play. Good team speed that time shown by Rock Creek.
Yeah, that was something I know Coach Lambert talked about and other coaches, that this is a very fast Rock Creek team. They do move quickly, and they get side to side quickly. So if the Vikings are going to run those toss plays, they've got to get the edge set. They've got to try to create a little bit of a gap there for the offensive player to get around. And that time we weren't able to do it. They were able to push Kennedy, string him along, and only allow a minimal, if any, gain.
Way to go, Doug. Way to say how we've been staying ahead of the chains.
That tends to be the way we do things.
I know. It's just been our bugaboo this year for sure. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Long play count. Going to toss. He's going to roll out and pass. He's got a receiver. Peters over here in the side. And complete. Beautiful pass inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. But Jake Lucas threw it just where Peters could have it. He got the defender on his back, and he just never let him come in front of him.
Yeah, what an excellent pass by Jake Lucas to Andrew Peters into the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
How many yards on that play?
20.
20-yard pass play on 3rd down. I formation again inside the 20-yard line, the red zone. Here comes Wilson pushing his way through, and he gets inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line. Pickup of about 4, almost 5 yards on the play. Raleigh Wilson is just running behind that good blocking.
Yeah, he is. And like you said that earlier, those guys up front are really blocking well. The Vikings on a number of occasions have run that really tight formation. We did some of that at Chapman a few weeks ago where we bring the flankers and the split end inside, and they've done that a couple of times. But what a great pass from Jake Lucas to Andrew Peters. You know, we said they were behind the sticks for the first time, and he had him on the edge, made a beautiful pass to him, and Andrew cleared it and pulled it in, and the Vikings continue this drive.
Again, I formation behind Lucas on 2nd down and 5, trailing 7-0, long play count. Here comes Kennedy trying to get outside and run through that tackle. He gets through the first one, but then he's met by a whole herd of Mustangs, and he'll get maybe a yard gain on the play, but that was a good second effort by Kennedy.
It was, and Rock Creek that time, for the first time that I've seen in this possession, with their backs up against their own goal line here, ending up really putting a blitz mode on. They had everybody up at the line of scrimmage, everybody in the box, and they committed hard. The Vikings ran a little counter action there, faked the ball to the far side, came back to the near side to Kennedy, and even though, again, another play, bounced off a defender and was able to move forward, not by much, but again, gives them a manageable 3rd and about 6.
Wishbone formation, double tight end on 2nd or 3rd down now. Lucas trying to get outside. He's got a receiver in the end zone and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Brewster Banks, and you can tell he's mad at himself for missing that one because he was open at the goal line, incomplete, 4th down and 5.
Yeah, he was open, but at the same time, there was another defender on the far side of the field that was really committing to that play. I think if he hits Brewster in the numbers, there's a good possibility there's a contact play there, and it might have been able to dislodge it. Hard to say what then right there, but it would have been a tough catch either way for Brewster to be able to make because there were defensive players bookending him.
So 4th down and 4. Rock Creek was successful on their only 4th down play on their drive. See if the Vikings can get successful. You got to hurry. There's only 5 seconds left on the play clock. I formation behind Lucas. Gonna hurry and snap, and he does. Toss to get outside to Kennedy. Now reverse to Andrew Peters. It's got some room. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. 1st down yardage inside the 5-yard line, but what a gutsy call by the coaching staff as it looked like it was a sweep all the way, and Andrew Peters had a lot of room on the near side.
Yeah, hats off to the coaching staff there, the way that was called, the timing with which it was called. You could tell they ran up to the line late, probably on purpose there because you don't want to give a lot of view to that, and set it up very nicely to be able to get that toss play, bring Andrew back in motion, executed well, and they ended up getting the 1st down inside the 5, and now a chance for the Vikings to get on the board here.
1st and goal from the 4. Lucas in shotgun or wishbone, and Raleigh Wilson takes it in from the 4 untouched, and the Vikings score with 1:33 left to go in the 1st quarter and get 6 now to see what they do with their extra point.
Yeah, we talked about the Vikings needing to get off to a quick start today offensively. Of course, they gave up the score to Rock Creek going down the field, but the first time on the field offensively, Smoky takes over at their own 32 on the kickoff and take the ball 68 yards to be able to get their first touchdown, and something we haven't seen a lot of this year, aided by a beautiful trick play there on the reverse, and now they go back to the traditional wishbone formation here for a chance to take the early lead.
2-point conversion try coming. Hand it off to Kennedy. He's going to push. Good! Trey Kennedy takes it in for the 2-point conversion, and the Vikings with 1:33 left in the 1st quarter take an 8-7 lead back after this 30-second timeout.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School.
Play 68-yard drive. Rock Creek had 9 plays, 69 yards. There's not much left of the 1st quarter.
There's not, and it's been an exciting 1st quarter because both teams have moved up and down the field so eloquently here. I mean, you got the passing game and the running game there of Rock Creek, and then the Vikings, of course, storming down the field, and we mentioned getting that first 3rd and 9, completing a big 20-yard pass, and then the trick play there by Smoky Valley to set them up for the Raleigh Wilson score.
Yeah, absolutely entertaining 1st quarter so far. Kennedy will kick off again, deep for Rock Creek, standing back and catches it in the air and line drive about the 15-yard line. Is Whaley trying to get up the middle, and Haven Lysell Stewart has him, and he'll get up to about the 33-yard line. That's where Rock Creek will take over their first possession, now trailing by the score of 8-7.
Yeah, another score from around the league and from around our district here early in the game. Heston up 7-0 on Clay Center. Another game out there, Nickerson up 14-8 on Pratt. Olpe up 14-0 on Hillsborough. I think Hillsborough has not lost yet this year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe just once. So they're down early to Olpe.
2 receivers far side for the Rock Creek Mustangs. Now Whaley's going to come back here with Forge in the backfield. Now Whaley goes out to the wide receiver spot in the sideline. Now takes it off in motion again, dropping back to pass. Killingsworth looking now. He's going to tuck it and run himself, and he gets through a first wave, but Raleigh Wilson and Tevin Duncan on that tackle. Good effort by Justin Holt. I mean, good to keep him within a yard, maybe two.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure there if he wasn't pleased with his coverage with his protection in the backfield, because down the far side of the field, he had number 3, Dawson Zenger, behind the defense streaking up the field, and it looked like he may have been able to unload that ball. There's not much wind tonight. The flag is not moving at all, and nor the banners there, the ribbons on top of the goalpost. So he probably is going to unleash a deep ball here eventually.
2 receivers near side, going to hand it off to Forge, trying to get outside. He's got room across the 40, up near the 45, and across up to the 47. First down yardage by the strong running back. He's probably a little bit more of a force than Whaley's, more of a speed guy, and Forge is more of a forceful guy.
Yeah, Forge. It doesn't give us their sizes here on our program this week. We were able to comment on that last week, but Forge has been their big carrier. He's got 84 rushes this year for 376 yards, averaging almost 4.5 yards a carry.
2 receivers far side this time. Pistol formation again for the quarterback, dropping back, going to throw it out in the flat, a backwards pass, but it's caught. Trying to get up to midfield and across is number 2, Golden. And he's got near first down yardage at the 42 or 43. See where they spot it.
There's a flag back there at the 41-yard line. Didn't see exactly what happened. I saw it come out, but I couldn't tell if it was going to be offensive or defensive here.
And there's an injured player over there on the sideline, too. So they're deciding what to do. Rock Creek kind of backing up a little bit, so I hope we're still almost done with the quarter, too, as there's only 13.6 seconds left on the quarter, but all the players out on the field and the Rock Creek sideline are down on a knee, so hopefully this isn't a serious injury for Golden there.
Face mask, Smoky Valley. Those penalties offset. We'll replay the down.
So I'm going to replay the down, holding on Rock Creek and face mask on Smoky Valley, so each team has a penalty. I didn't see the second flag over there along the sideline, but they're attending to one of the players there. I need to get something checked here. Got to check my my Washington Nationals, see how they're doing in the baseball game tonight.
Yeah, difficult to see. Trying to watch the highlight here of number 2, Golden, go down on the sideline. He does finally pop back up, but he looked like he was writhing in some pain there for a bit. Couldn't quite tell if it just looked like he hyperextended the knee just a little bit on his way down, but good to see him back up. Good to see the applause out there for him. And it looks like you said, we're closing in here on the end of the quarter, and an offsetting penalty on that one works out as well as can be expected, I guess, for the Vikings here to reestablish a 1st and 10.
Bottom of the first inning, no score in the baseball game in the nation's capital. Killingsworth in that pistol formation has 1 receiver each way. Going to tuck it and run himself. It's a run play all the way. Gets across midfield just into Viking territory. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. First quarter in the books, 8-7 Vikings lead. Back with quarter number 2 after this 1 minute timeout.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Game day starts and finishes at Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg. Located at 101 North Main, this upscale one-of-a-kind establishment offers a wide variety of food and drink specials. Try their seasonal items or their world-famous Monte Crisco. Then wash it down with an ice-cold beer or tall glass of wine. Farley's Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln and Main in downtown Lindsborg. Farley's, your game day headquarters for the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
Scores for you to pass on. Salina South over Newton 6-0 after 1. Minneapolis 6, Pittsburgh 0 after 1. And I believe that's all we have at the moment. These are all from a week or two ago, so that's the only ones we have in our Rockingham Media member stations. And again, the Vikings at home next week to finish out the regular season against the loser of Haven and Wichita Trinity. We'll talk more about the playoff chances for these other teams. Pistol formation again for Killingsworth, dropping back to pass, dropping back, looking down the middle of the field. He's got a receiver. Whaley caught it and touchdown. It bounced around. He looked at it. He had a good second effort to catch it, and a 49-yard touchdown pass for Rock Creek on the first play of the second quarter.
You know, we commented coming back from the break or during the break that this is the first time the Vikings have held a lead at the end of the quarter. And we also commented in the first quarter what a great job we've done of not allowing the receivers to get behind us. In this scenario, Whaley got a little bit deeper than the corner, and he got behind our safety, Andrew Peters, and the pass was spot on. Like you said, a little bit of a bobble from Whaley, but great attention to detail to be able to haul that back in and take it in for the touchdown from 49 yards out.
And they're going to go for two, this time wide receiver each way. Collingsworth's going to take the ball himself and try to run it up the middle. He's got a two-point conversion easily. And our score with 11:52 left to go in the second quarter. Rock Creek back on top 15-8 back after this 30-second timeout.
So that was 4 plays, 67 yards, and 141. And a 49-yard touchdown.
Whaley has both, right?
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. Don't forget Bethany in action tomorrow afternoon. I believe it's 1 or 1:30. It will be the KCAC game of the week, so it will be televised on ESPN KCAC network, ESPN 3 network or something like that. So it got a lot of cables and stuff all over this press box here tonight. That'll be tomorrow afternoon against Southwestern, I believe, is the foe. Ready to go at the kickoff. Kennedy and Peters back about the 15-yard line. Approach to the ball. It was a short kick last time. This one's on the ground, bouncing around. Still bouncing. Now picked up by Shugren again. And the Vikings will have it 1st and 10 about the 35-yard line. 34, see where they spot it. But they just don't kick it very deep at all.
They don't. And boy, the way he does kick it, it gets a lot of bounce to it, gets a lot of movement, and you really have to be attentive to picking that ball up and making sure it doesn't take a little side glance there and bounce off of you. And the Vikings were able to do it. Court Shugren's very sure-handed. He does such a nice job of that, and he was able to haul that ball in and be able to get up the field for about a yard.
He's moved from a running back to a lineman this year and done a great job in that. Got another updated score. Ulysses 14, Abilene 0 after one. Brewster Bengtson far to the far side. Brant Hebel wide to the near side. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Turn and hand it off to Wilson up the middle. They made a little adjustment there, and Wilson gets met at the line of scrimmage. He does get across the 35 up to the 36, so a gain of about 2, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, extremely important for the Vikings to respond again. You know, the first drive for Rock Creek was 9 plays, 69 yards. The second one only 4 plays, but 67 yards. The Vikings countered last time at 14 and 68 on their scoring drive. Be nice to take another 7 minutes off the clock is about what the Vikings took off last time and be able to stick the ball back in the end zone to either tie it or take the lead here again.
Wide receiver each way again for Lucas. Going to turn and hand it off to Wilson. He gets through the first wave of tacklers across the 40 up to the 41-yard line, so nearly a 5-yard gain. 3rd down and 4. We'll call it short 4, long 3 for the Vikings.
You know, you said it again earlier. It's nice to be able to be a lineman for the Vikings and feel like the guys across from you aren't just behemoths. Again, just that whole feeling that you can get a hat on somebody and maybe have a chance to drive them back, and we've been able to do that offensively to this point.
Double tight end this time, I formation behind Jake Lucas. And have a little more physicality trying to get outside is Kennedy. He's got 1st down yardage and more across midfield. He could go all the way across the 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Trey Kennedy. He burst through, and all of a sudden he was with 2 of his linemen, and he found a way to keep his balance. He was going backwards for a little bit and made it in there, and the Vikings do answer just like you ordered, Doug.
Yeah, 59 yards out, Trey Kennedy, and like you said, he kind of danced here to the near side of the field, was able to kind of get a little crease as everybody committed to the quarterback, and he stumbled and bumbled through. What a great job by Hebel, not blocking the defender in the back. Both he and Brandon Malm were right there. Neither one of them made contact. Actually, Brandt just kind of slid in front of that defender just to create a buffer and give Trey a chance to get his feet back under him. And he takes it the rest of the way for a Viking touchdown, making it 15-14 Rock Creek.
Vikings 2-point conversion attempt is next. Put a man in motion. That's Peters from the far to the. Here comes Wilson up the middle, and penalty flag before the start, and the Vikings move, and that's a big penalty when you take that extra point from the 7-yard line or 8-yard line now instead of the 3.
Yeah, moving us back doesn't help by any means. And, we don't have that luxury of having a kicker out there just to be able to kick it through the goalpost each time. We haven't kicked I don't know if we've kicked any extra points this year at all. I don't remember for sure. But again, going to set up a little bit of a different scenario. I would expect the Vikings to maybe spread the field a little bit more on this play. Not sure if we'll do a rollout here for the pass. They're going to stay in with their tight formation, but they do have some receivers in the lineup again.
Double tight flanker to the near side for Lucas, who goes under center and I formation. He's going to roll out in the flat, looking down the middle, and knocked away by number 15, Spiller. And that falls incomplete. And with 10:25 to go in the second quarter, Vikings trail Rock Creek 15-14 back right after this 30-second timeout.
The Quarterback Club of Lindsborg is proud to support athletics in the Smoky Valley. Join us each Tuesday at 7 a.m. in the Bethany College cafeteria to hear from all the Vikings and Swedes sporting coaches. Hometown Lindsborg Pharmacy, located at 216 North Harrison Street, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
Conversion, and Ollie Wilson just ran that extra point right up there, but of course the whistle blew, so maybe wasn't going to be that accurate, but would have been certainly nice to take a 16-15 lead instead of being trailing now 15-14.
Statistics were not our friend last week at Hallstead. I think it was over 400 yards to 50-something for the Vikings. This time tonight, we've pretty much toe for toe went to battle with these guys. 136 yards for Rock Creek at this point, and of course 15 points. The Vikings 134 yards of total offense and 14 points at this point. So what a first quarter and first part of the second quarter.
Bouncing kick gets away from the Rock Creek runners back there, and he's going to just patiently let it roll into the end zone. Could have been a disaster there if it had started rolling. The Vikings were running out of time. They kind of had to rush that kickoff, and Kennedy just pounded it down there, and it bounced by Whaley and into the end zone. So they will start in their worst field position of the ball game so far at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, nicely done. Again, just a little bit of a bouncer, a little bit of Rock Creek's own medicine there that they've given us, and he put a little mustard on that one, like you said, rushing that kick a bit. But number 5 was back there. That was Whaley, and I think he was making that last-second decision. Do I get it? Do I let it go? And it does bounce into the end zone.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side, handoff to the first guy through Forge, and he's getting nowhere. Good penetration by the Viking middle there, and they lose a yard on the play, second down and 11.
Yeah, beautiful job by that front four, especially those interior guys. Justin Holt was in there. Grant Lysell Alkire was in there. I think also, was that number 74 out there in the middle?
77
Holt out there, and those guys did a great job just being able to collapse the inside and make a big play.
So second down and long, 9:52 to go here in the second quarter. Vikings trail by only 1, 15-14. Rock Creek rushes to the line of scrimmage with 2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Killingsworth now puts one of those men in motion. Whaley to the near side. They're going to hand it off to him. No, he's going to keep it himself and go up the middle. He'll get back to near the 25-yard line, or it's going to be third and about 4.
Yeah, so difficult there because you got to pay attention to that sellout. But they definitely were able to get back there and make the play. Haven Lysell Stewart making the tackle.
We're going to keep it right here. Coach Lambert just rushes out onto the field with the timeout, trying to he must have a guy spying on that quarterback, and that must be a play that really frustrated him because he went right out there to a couple of the linebackers and said, "This is what we practice all week long. This is what you got to stop. I cannot have him running free in that backfield."
He made that commitment of that timeout quickly, and I think he was out there in a heartbeat to announce.
He looked like a sprinter.
That this is not how we practice this week. I believe that was a nice, calm, excuse me, I don't think that's what we've been doing. Would you mind doing it a different way?
Yeah, I don't think that's what he said out there. I would bet.
That's what I would have said. You know me, Don. That's how I respond to those situations. But it'll be nice to see how Smoky adjusts. Again, kind of behind the sticks a little bit, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 5.5. And so it's been really Killingsworth who's made these plays on 3rd and 5. And he just made the last one to pick up 5-6 yards. So he'll have to make a play here again.
3rd down with 2 receivers near side. He puts Whaley in motion, going to keep it himself and run again. He's going to try to get yardage, and he's not going to get it. They listened to what Coach had to say that time, and they stopped Killingsworth just across the 25, maybe to the 26. Going to be 4th and 4. Are they going to be gutsy enough to go for it on 4th down and 4 in their own 26-yard line?
Neither team is. We're at the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, and neither team has punted yet.
2 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. They're going for it on 4th and 4, deep in their own territory. Killingsworth maybe just trying to get the Vikings to jump off sides. He's going to take a couple steps back, and he'll punt it himself. So he tried to get the Vikings to bite. They didn't bite, and he gets a nice roll on the football. It's going to go down inside the Vikings' 30-yard line, but good effort by the Vikings front not to jump. You could see him barking out some extra signals there, trying to get him to jump. Great effort by the front group.
Yeah, it ends up being a nice kick, approximately about 46 yards on that kick. So, again, when you can get your quarterback to just try to get him to bite on a jump and then be able to take 2 steps back and punt the ball for 46 yards, you got to love that. Again, on a pretty lackluster, lack of wind night, just a nice punt and sets the Vikings up here for a good opportunity to get a long drive and hopefully take some time off this clock.
It would be nice to get a score to go into halftime on a lot of momentum. Wishbone formation behind Jake Lucas this time. Long play count again. First guy through. Wilson has the ball. He's got big yardage, about 7 or 8 yards up to the 35-yard line on just a solid push from the middle. And that little visit that Coach Lambert had with the offense or defense is working for the offense as well.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, what a great job by the line being able to create some holes for our running backs to get through, which we have not seen in a few weeks. They're getting the holes. The running backs are finding them, and they're able to push the ball off the field and give us good first down yardage.
2nd down and 3, we'll call it, for the Vikings, still in wishbone formation. Kennedy's got the outside. He's got room across the 40. And first down yardage for Trey Kennedy. Got popped there at the last by somebody, but not before he had first down yardage and moved the chains for the Vikings.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who that was. At first I thought it was Killingsworth in there again. It looks like
he's not playing defense, though.
Yeah, but he's out there. That's number 12 in the backfield.
Now he is.
So he came up, and it was a heck of a pop. I tell you, Kennedy looked like he had some momentum going, and Killingsworth hit him, and they just met, and both of them stopped. And well played on his behalf. It looked like it was going to maybe bounce to a few more yards, but stops him right there at the 40.
Again, wishbone formation for Luke is going to pitch, try to get to Kennedy to the outside. He's got Peters. He's got room. He's across midfield. 40, 35, 30. A cutback at the 20, 10, 5. Andrew Peters from the 40-yard line, a 60-yard dash. He's so good at the 100. He's pretty good at 62.
Yeah, what a great run by Andrew Peters. You know, last week Andrew kind of got burned coming up the outside. He was chasing a guy down the field at Halstead, and the kid gave him a little loop-de-loop there, a little hesitation move that ended up catching Andrew off guard. And you could see this time at the end of the run, Andrew did the same thing here to the Rock Creek defender, just gave him a little hezzy step there and takes it into the end zone for the Viking lead now at 20-15 as the Vikings set up to go for 2. 60-yard run by Andrew Peters.
Wow, what a play. Wishbone formation for the extra point, 2-point conversion. Here comes Raleigh Wilson. Here comes Raleigh Wilson for 2, and the Vikings go up 22-15 with 7:31 left to go in this second quarter in a rousing senior night here at Anderson Stadium, back after this 30-second timeout. Stadium as the Vikings have yet to punt. You just mentioned when Rock Creek went thinking about going for it on fourth down, and they backed up and punted the ball away. And the Vikings, we were just hoping they could put a drive together to run out the clock, and Andrew Peters takes it 60 yards in a 72-yard drive in 3 plays. So we'll take points anytime they come.
We're hoping tonight's one of those nights they fill up your page there in the notebook, and you have to go to the second page to get all the scoring in. Might have to do a 10-minute scoring recap here after the game, but what a great set of drives by the Vikings. Their last 2 possessions, 1 minute 27 seconds and 1 minute and 12 seconds, capped by that big run by Peters and previously the run by Kennedy.
Kennedy to kick off the ball, higher kick and go out of bounds, so Rock Creek is going to get it at the 35-yard line. So a little bit of damper on the enthusiasm here when the kick going out of bounds, but Rock Creek will have it 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line, and that's where they'll start their drive. They've had 2 drives they scored on. They had 1 drive, a 3-and-out, and punted. So Vikings certainly looking to have them repeat what they repeated 2 scoring drives. Now they'd like to repeat 2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, and the time of possession actually tonight favors Smoky Valley, but not necessarily by a lot because of those 2 quick drives. The Vikings have had the ball for 8 minutes and 51 seconds, 7 minutes and 38 seconds for Rock Creek, but the Vikings are up by 7 on the scoreboard, 22-15 here in the second.
With 7:31 left to go in the second quarter, we don't need to remember to say the score so much because we're scoring so often here. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side, flanker also to the far side, rolling out. Killingsworth going to throw downfield, and Brewster Bankson right there trying to knock it out, but Whaley pulls it in at the 49-yard line. So 1st and 10 on the 14-yard completion to Whaley. He's got good hands.
He does, and that was well played, I thought, by the Smoky Valley defense. You know, we didn't let guys get behind us on that one, which burned us earlier. Brewster kept him in front and maybe only about a half a step away from having a chance to intercept or at least knock that ball away. He got contact on it. The bad part is, like you said, Whaley's just got such good hands. He was able to pull it down, hold on to it, and make the reception.
So 1st and 10, Rock Creek with 7:23 left to go. Went out of bounds, so the clock stopped at their own 49-yard line. So we didn't get a 3-and-out there. We'll see what happens here on the remainder of this drive. Pistol formation for Killingsworth.
We're going to have a timeout. That play clock was down to 1, and so the Rock Creek coaches got the timeout there.
We'll keep this one right here. We've had a lot of timeouts. Again, thanking our sponsors, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, Dower Welding, C&L Heating and Cooling, Old Stuga, Gallant Tire and Auto, Farmers State Bank, Lindsberg Family Dental Care, Farm Bureau, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Arn Reinert CPA, Caldwell Banker Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, People's Bank and Trust, Christian's Funeral Home, Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tesket, and Viking Auto. Want to wish the best of luck. Again, we talked about it earlier, but the volleyball girls going over here to Council Grove against Minneapolis tomorrow afternoon. And the cross-country runners, did they go up tonight because it's such a long trip to...
I think they're still going up in the morning. I think they're leaving bright and early in the morning to get going, maybe about 5-ish to get up there.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a brisk day, I think, in the West, but good luck to those guys. I know they're pretty excited. It's going to be a tough regional for them, and same for the volleyball girls. They come in as the 2 seed there at their sub-state, but again, things looking up, things looking positive for fall sports.
Ryan Helene has won a couple of meets, taking first individually, so he's on a little bit of a roll. 3 receivers near side, Killingsworth looking down the middle, and now batted down as he threw it, so it falls incomplete. He went to throw it to the far side to Whaley. He was over there with one-on-one coverage on Brewster. They flooded the near side, and he was on the far side, but the ball got hit, and looks like Killingsworth might have hit his hand a little bit. He's kind of wincing in pain over there about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, defense got a really good push into the backfield there. I couldn't quite tell looking at the highlight right now to try to see who got back there, but good push by the interior line, making it back quickly. Looks like Justin Holt was the one who got back there, made contact not only with the ball, as you said, but also with Killingsworth. So, again, certainly hope he's not hurt, but at the same time, good to see that pressure getting back into that Rock Creek backfield.
Absolutely. Two receivers near side, one to the far. Forge is going to, it's a handoff between Forge and Killingsworth ended up keeping it. Somehow they didn't fumble, but Court Shugren, among others, on there with a tackle. Loss on the play of a yard. It's 3rd down and 11.
That looked like Court Shugren blitzed that weak side B gap, came flying through there, and he was able to collect Killingsworth quickly as he decided to make the fake there on the read option. Kept the ball, but like we said, Shugren there able to take him down quickly for about a 1-yard loss.
3rd and long for Rock Creek here. Two receivers far side, one to the near side, flanker to the far side. Collinsworth in that pistol formation with a back behind him in the backfield. Going to roll to the far side, still rolling. Looked like they're trying to set up a screen, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Forge was the intended receiver. Court Shugren was in the area, but that fall incomplete, and it's a 4th down and long now. They've gone for several 4th downs. Well, they went for one and got it. They went for another and then dropped back to punt. We'll see what they're going to do with 6:26 left to go in this second quarter.
I'll tell you, the way the Viking offense has been clicking, this is like a 30-second drive if the Vikings could take over at the 48 as quickly as they've been moving the ball. So you got to make some decisions here if you're Rock Creek, but a 4th and 11 is not an easy one to try to make here.
Two receivers to the far side, one to the near side. Only Killingsworth, who's going to drop back again. Looked like he might drop back and punt the ball one more time. Vikings will not jump over side, and he will boot it away. High spiraling kick. Peters is back there, and he muffs the ball. Ball loose on the ground. I think the Vikings have it. We'll see what they unwind, but I think the Vikings do. Somebody got on it. It looked like a Viking, but there was two Rock Creek guys right there. And that bailed out Andrew Peters.
It did. You know, he was trying. He saw the defense coming to get him there, and he tried to get it and make a quick move. Again, had to drop back into that punt return coverage because Killingsworth did the quick kick again. It does bounce off, hits him in the knee a little bit there, and it is a live ball down at the bottom. It looks like it might have been Brewster Bankston that was able to corral it down at the bottom of that pile and save the Vikings a possession here.
1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for the Vikings now is 6:18 to go in the second quarter, leading 22-15. Vikings haven't scored 22 points in a game all year, I don't believe. I have to look back at my score clock. Here comes Kennedy trying to get up there. It's kind of a little funny or different play and more of a looked like he was going wide, then he cut back on more of a counter-type look, but that was not successful. Got about 1.5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8 for the Vikings here. Late second quarter with a 22-15 lead for the Smoky Valley Vikings with 5:55 left to go in the second quarter. Again, Vikings will close out the regular season at home next week against Haven or Wichita Trinity. We'll find out from them here later, maybe tonight. Wide receiver each way for the Vikings. Lucas under center with I formation behind him. Here comes Raleigh Wilson busting his way up the middle. He gets to the 30, maybe to the 31, still pushing. And they're going to finally blow the play dead, but it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings.
You know, stood up in there, but still had the legs churning. Hats off to the officiating crew for allowing that to go on for a little while because the momentum was still moving forward for just a little bit, and then eventually that turned in the other direction. But Raleigh able to carry him over there and set up a manageable 3rd and about 4.5 or 5.
You think we're scoring a lot? I just got a score from the first quarter. Republic County and Sacred Heart. Republic County 40, Sacred Heart 14 after one quarter.
Wow.
A lot of points being scored up there in Sacred Heart if they're at home. Don't know where that game's at. Wishbone formation, almost a jump off sides there. That would have been a penalty. And Coach Lambert now is going to call a timeout. 3rd down and 4. Timeout on the field. Will step aside as well. Vikings lead at 22-15 with 4:47 left to go in the second quarter. Back after this 30-second timeout.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina is the perfect place to get that one-of-a-kind item for yourself or that special someone. Vernon Jewelers, located at 123 North Santa Fe in downtown Salina, is a proud supporter of area athletics.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Speaking of Bethany College, Their volleyball team also is tied for second place in the conference. They're having a great, outstanding season, as is the Viking volleyball team. So both volleyball teams are doing a tremendous job here. So best of luck to them. I believe they have a match tomorrow at Tabor. Wishbone formation for the Vikings here on 3rd down and 4. Vikings going to have it off to Kennedy, far side. He's going to run into a pile of Rock Creek Mustangs over there, and he'll get maybe a half a yard on the play. It's going to be 4th down and long for the Vikings. And will Coach Lambert be strong enough to go for it on 4th down deep in their own territory? Rock Creek has lined up a couple of times to do it. See what the Vikings are going to do. They've got a long 4th and a long 4 here to go.
I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the Vikings maybe run this clock out again and use another timeout, trying to get as many seconds off the clock as possible and try to leave a littler amount of time for Rock Creek to be able to manage it. And I think that's what Coach is going to do here on the side, is wait until that goes to 0.
I see him standing next to the official there, so no question about that. That's probably exactly what he's going to do. But Bethany men and women's soccer also in action this week. They're doing good. It's just a fall sports season that football this year is not good for either one. Vikings with only 1 win, Bethany with only 1 win, but maybe the fortunes for the Vikings are going to take a turn tonight, and maybe that'll leak forward and help the Swedes out tomorrow.
Hopefully so. But, on a lighter note there, what a fantastic Hillingsfest weekend this past weekend.
Oh, man.
Tons of people here in the community. We had really good weather. I've heard from numerous people who've lived here for most of their lives who said this may have been one of the best ones they've ever been a part of. It just seemed like it was constant activity, constant action. Like I said, when the weather is great, you can't beat a Hillingsfest and a Viking on a stick, can you?
Hats off to the Hillings committee on all the adjustments they had to make with the smorgasbord moving downtown. They had smorgasbord on Friday night and Saturday night, first ever, in a new venue, first ever. Simply outstanding compliments on how all that went. Maybe they had a few rough spots here and there, but all in all, that's changing that venue is certainly a very good performance for the Hillings committee, chaired by Ryan Biegert and Eric Lundstrom.
Vikings are going to punt for the first time, and we missed him last week, but Ethan Abel, a freshman out there, is the long snapper.
Good snap, almost blocked, but he got to get it away. Bounced up and away from Whaley. He's got it at the 30-yard line, trying to get outside, trying to reverse his field. Good job by Brant Hebel staying home, and the Vikings, wow, what a play by Brant Hebel to stay put.
Yeah, Brant stayed put on the other side, or the far side of the field, and Ethan, that I just mentioned, he had coverage on the near side, and they really kept him corralled, did a nice job. But like I said, Ethan had his first opportunity last week to long snap. He was pretty excited about it. It's nice to have a freshman out there. That's kind of a skill position, to be able to be a good long snapper, and it's impressive to find a guy at a young age who's able to do that. And he was one of the first guys down the field again today, so sorry we missed him last week, but good to see him out there this week.
3 minutes and 47 seconds for Rock Creek to do something. They got 3 receivers to the near side this time. Killingsworth is in the pistol formation, looking near side all the way. Got a receiver caught. Jukes one would-be tackler for the Vikings, Kennedy, and a couple of others, Haven, Lysell, Stewart. No, excuse me, it's Court Shugan on the tackle. It's a gain of about 8.5, almost 9 yards, second down and short.
Haven Lysell Stewart committed to that play hard as he saw the little slip screen over here to the side, but he just came out a little bit too aggressive. And like you said, a little juke move there, brought him right back into the inside. Kennedy was able to get a hold of a jersey and hold on for dear life, and then that allowed, like you said, Court Shugan to be able to come in and finish him off down low and keeps him just short of the first down.
Kept the clock running, 3:08 left to go. Vikings leading 22-15, 3 receivers far side for Killingsworth. Going to look to the near side and caught down on the reception at the 46-yard line. So just a quick out, and he went down to catch it. In high school ball and college ball, you're down when you go on a knee, so he knew he wanted to make the reception, and it's first down, Rock Creek.
Extremely important for Smoky Valley here to keep the game in front of you. If you want to allow some 3, 4, 5-yard catches, but don't allow that deep ball to get behind you, give yourself a chance to make a play and make a stop. Just don't give up the big play.
Whaley, their deep threat, is the far receiver on the far side, pistol formation again. Going to throw it out in a little slip screen again on the side. Across midfield is Whaley trying to get outside, and he gets first down yardage across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. So they move the sticks, and it's first down Rock Creek with 2:35 left to go. They still have 2 timeouts.
Yeah, good hands and good speed kind of gives you the opportunity to run those little screen plays and get some nice blocking on the edge. That time you pointed out Whaley was on the far side of the field, 2 steps up, 1 step back, make a little screen action there and pick up about 12 yards on the play.
Now he comes out wide to the near side with 3 receivers. Going to throw another script screen, and he throws it bad over the head of Whaley. Little pressure coming up the middle from Grant Lysell Alkire, and he had to throw it higher than he wanted. It falls incomplete with 2:32 left to go in the first half.
Yeah, you called that exactly right. Grant was able to make it in there on the ball side of the play and caused Killingsworth to have to throw the ball high to get it up over him. I mean, Grant's not a tall guy, but at the same time, you're not able to have that pinpoint accuracy. Got his hands up, made a play, and made it difficult for the catch to be made, and that sets up a 2nd and 10.
In the right position at the right time. 3 receivers to the near side again. Killingsworth barking out signals, dropping back, pressure coming from Grant Lysell Alkire again. Almost got him, still under pressure. Finally just drops it loose in the backfield. And good effort by Haven Lysell Stewart as ball hits him in the back. He kind of turned around a little bit, but that ball was underthrown. But Killingsworth was under immense pressure from the Vikings.
I tell you, he was escaping here on the side. I couldn't tell who the pass was to. Is that number 8?
21.
21 the pass was to. That was Plummer. And he was wide open there. Haven Lysell Stewart really had to commit hard, had to face the offensive player. He actually puts his arms out to the side to ensure that he doesn't run into him. And you're right, the ball hits Haven right there in the back of the head. But it was a great defensive play and a great job avoiding PI.
3rd down and 10. Whaley in motion to the far side. High snap again. Hand off to Ford. No, it's a throw out in the backfield, and Whaley goes out of bounds, or it's incomplete, one or the other. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down and 10. Ball still at the 41-yard line.
I want to see that highlight again because I'm not too sure he didn't throw that ball backwards, and that would have been advantageous to the Vikings because that would have been possibly a 7 or 8 yard loss there on that play. If you're watching at home right now, take a chance to back play that just a little bit. The pass is actually made right there from the 49. It's probably straight across. It's probably about right. Good call by the officials.
Looked like Hollingsworth was having a little trouble with his hand again, so another big 4th down for Rock Creek here. Good defensive 4th down for the Vikings. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. This time almost jumping the Vikings, but he's going to do the same thing again. He's going to drop back and punt it away. So the 3rd time the Vikings have made him punt the ball. And this is going to take a Rock Creek bounce and die right at the 10-yard line. But that's a smart play by Peters to get away from it. Don't try to handle it if you're not completely sure. And what a job the Viking defense is again. Punt, punt, punt on their last 3 possessions.
Yeah, excellent job. And I'll tell you, I don't play as much golf as I used to, but I have never had a chip die like that punt did right there at the 11-yard line. That was phenomenal by Killingsworth there. But what a job by the Viking defense. You know, much beleaguered over the last few weeks, had given up a bunch of points on different games, and now they come out here, give up 2 early scores, but have really stiffened here on these last 3 possessions.
Back to wishbone formation. They certainly want to run out the clock here before halftime. A 1st down would be nice. Kennedy with a big yardage up the side, up near the 20-yard line, so he gets 7-8 yards on the carry. 2nd down and short for the Vikings. Excellent run on 1st down.
Yeah, did a great job. That doesn't allow Rock Creek to be able to call their timeout here. Otherwise, I think you might have seen a quick timeout, try to keep some time on the clock. But in this situation, setting up a 2nd or 2 or 3, you've got to hold that in your pocket and hope the Vikings maybe have a difficult play here.
Wishbone formation again on 2nd down and 2, we'll call it. 8-yard gain on the last one. Hand off to somebody on the inside. They're not going to get 1st down yardage or maybe get to the 20-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and short for the Vikings.
I think that interior run that time went to Kennedy. You're right, did not pick up much. Going to set up a 3rd and about 2. Clock is running here, and it's going to be a big play. I think Rock Creek's deciding they want to hold on to that timeout and maybe get the stop here. I guarantee if they can get the Vikings shut down for no gain here, you're going to see a Rock Creek timeout and expect or hope the Vikings punt it, and they can unleash a couple of bombs deep.
They got 2 timeouts left, so that's what's surprising to me, that they're not using either one of them. Wishbone formation again behind Jake Lucas. Turn and hand it off to Wilson. No, Kennedy's got it, and looks like he's got 1st down yardage.
He does. Nice job over the far side there. Didn't get much more, maybe only about a half yard to a yard, but he got enough to set the 1st down. You got to believe now the Vikings just want to run out the clock, get to the half, and see what happens.
Set the clock running again. The Vikings have 30 seconds. They can run it down to about 10 seconds. So Rock Creek not going to use any of their timeouts here and force the Vikings to punt. The Vikings are doing exactly what they need to do. And barring some unforeseen thing, we won't even talk about it. First down and 10 for the Vikings with 28 seconds left to go. They're going to toss it and try to get it to Andrew Peters, a play they scored on before. He gets through a little bit of a seam and gets up near the 30-yard line. A pickup of about 7 or so on the play, and we're under 15 seconds left to go. And Rock Creek still isn't going to call the timeout. The Vikings don't even have to snap it. So they're going to let the clock run out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are at halftime, and the Vikings lead at halftime 22-15. We'll be back to wrap up this first half for you after this 2-minute timeout.
Area athletes and even weekend warriors have a big home field advantage.
The Wildfires would like to welcome all of their wonderful guests who will be dancing with them tonight. They are dancing to Dancing's Not a Crime, choreographed by Ellie Flynn. The Wildfires are Captain Taylor Barnes, Captain Carissa Kindlestarter, Captain Elena McMillan, Ellie Flynn, Carrick Elliott, Grayson Bauer, Braden DeSalt, Riley Ebert, Emma Liddick, and Lauren DeLiesel. And now, the cheer team will be performing for you tonight to the song Domino. They would like to extend a special thank you to Taylor Barnes for her help in teaching and choreographing parts of this dance. The cheerleaders are Belle Peters, Senior Helena Mater, Senior Mackenzie Burks, Senior Skylar Venables, Elise Peterson, Senior Nevada Atchison, Senior Amanda Riley, Senior Harley Watkins, Senior Ashlyn Bryant, and Mariah Anderson. We have two presentations now tonight down on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the track for a special presentation. Smoky Valley would like to welcome Mrs. Terry Costin from Custom Fundraising Solutions to tonight's game. The high school music department held their third annual mattress fundraiser on September 28th. Terry and her crew transformed our high school commons into a top-of-the-line mattress showroom for the day. The Smoky Valley Music Department would like to thank the community for their continued support, and thanks to that wonderful support, Terry is proud to have given back a total of $11,125 over the last 3 years. Congratulations to our music department, and thank you all for your patronage. We have one more special presentation for you. Tonight, we are recognizing Mike Rose, Director of Technology for USD 400, for his tireless efforts to share online the many events of the Smoky Valley for patrons near and far. Mr. Rose strings athletic events, concerts, and even commencement for our school district. Mr. Rose has worked in IT for educational institutions for the past 24 years, including 10 years in the Buhler School District, 1 year at Sterling College, and now in his 13th year in the Smoky Valley School District. He is respected throughout the state of Kansas as a leader and innovator in streaming technology. Other schools often reach out to Mr. Rose to see how they can provide a quality online stream of activities after seeing what our fans and patrons get to enjoy on a weekly basis. We've had patrons enjoy streamed events while traveling to Alaska and even Europe. Please join us in recognizing Mike Rose and the outstanding service he provides to all of us in the Smoky Valley and beyond. A huge thank you to Mr. Mike Rose. And now, go head down to the baseball concession stand and your last chance to enter that 50-50 drawing during the third quarter. Get your 50-50 raffle tickets now for some big money.
Up 27-0 on Hillsborough. Pratt 21-14 over Nickerson. Little River, our very own Jennifer Braden, her son plays for Little River. They are up 22-0 on Mound Ridge. That was going into the second quarter. Again, some of the other league scores and some of the other district scores still not having any look with those yet either. And, of course, a few of those are relatively important game to the Vikings. Of course, Trinity and Haven going at it tonight. I don't have a score from them. No score from Halstead Chapman yet either. So we'll keep doing some looking on there as well.
Little River also coached by Bethany alum and friend of mine, Kevin Ayers. So he came back home after his wife is from the Little River area. So got a couple of many Bethany alums out there in that coaching world, as well as Smoky Valley alums. But, yeah, a lot of scores going on. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk about next year's football schedule. We get to go to that Scott County Community College in Goodland, and we play Colby at home, and we play Russell. So we're shifting to the western regions of the state for football next year. Halftime score here, Vikings up 22-15. Back with more halftime after this timeout.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
The Quarterback Club of Lindsborg is proud to support athletics in the Smoky Valley. Join us each Tuesday at 7 a.m. in the Bethany College cafeteria to hear from all the Vikings and Swedes sports coaches.
7-day-a-week urgent care has arrived.
Town, and then Colby, Vikings go to Colby, and then Goodland and Scott City come here on back-to-back weeks, and then we go to Southeast to Salina, and then Russell comes here. So it'll be a little bit easier.
Same caliber of play. Not to say anything bad, but we don't see the same teams week in and week out. And so, again, I think it creates a nice new test. We've been playing some of these same teams here in football. You and I have been covering some of the same district games here for years over the course of the last 3 or 4. And so a chance to see some new blood, some new teams. We get out west, even Russell just far enough out west to be able to see somebody new, rekindle that rivalry a little bit with Southeast of Saline again, which hasn't been for a while. That'll be nice, just right down the road, and be able to see some of those teams. So there's a lot of really cool opportunities there. It is a lot of travel, but at the same time, I think it really creates an opportunity for us to see some different teams and to have some different opportunities.
Rock Creek, on the other hand, they end up in a district with Hiawatha, Holton, Hoyt, Royal Valley, Meriden, Jeff West, Sabetha, and St. George Rock Creek. So they get a little farther push to the east than we do. So it'll be interesting to see. Have they reset the clock so we're just about ready for kickoff, or is there another 3 minutes?
I think it's been reset. I think we're ready to roll in a minute.
So it's been a quick halftime here with a lot of things to cover. And again, appreciate everybody listening. Appreciate Mike. Congratulations to you on your award for whatever that was for.
Just for being an overall great guy, I bet. I bet it's all it says. So. Mike Rose, all-around great guy. We'll see if he makes any comments on the live stream about that. But, I mean, what a great job Mike does to be able to do the things for our school and be able to go out there and do the live streams. It was a lot of fun for you and I to do the volleyball games on Tuesday, and a good opportunity to do that. And really, again, we didn't have hundreds and hundreds of people, but even the people that do watch, it's really a great opportunity for people, and including tonight. The people that can't make it tonight and have a chance, it's a little bit of a brisk night, gives you a chance to see an uncle to see their kid, their nephew play, a grandma be able to see their grandkids play. So we appreciate the opportunities to be able to do that.
Kickoff, Rock Creek. Vikings won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the first possession. And after a wild scoring first half, we'll see what happens here in the second half. But the Vikings lead at 22-15. Kennedy and Peters back inside the 20-yard line. This kicker is getting kind of pooching and line driving kick, so we'll see what he does this time. It's on the ground again, picked up by one of the up guys for the Vikings and taking it right up the field. Is that Venables?
I think that was Caden Venables getting a chance to get his hands on the ball and a nice little burst to be able to take it all the way up to the 47.
My goodness, I saw that and I thought, is he really going to take it? I thought he was just going to go down on a knee and grab it, but he just went ahead and grabbed it and stood right up. So he get the Vikings excellent field position.
Energetic young man, always very vibrant, and it's good to see him get his hand there on the football and really give the Vikings a great field position to open this half with a 7-point lead.
They'll go I formation with the wide receiver Brewster Binkson and Andrew Peters wide each way. Lucas under center has gone all the way at quarterback. He's going to roll back, trying to look down the field. There's a holding penalty or flag coming out, and Jake Lucas gets across the 50 down to the 49, but probably be holding. That's usually where that flag comes from, the man with the white hat on. So it's going to be, looks like it's going to be 1st and 20. I don't want to speculate yet, but it's almost always holding when that guy throws the flag back there.
They had some pretty good execution there defensively to be able to get through the Vikings. I couldn't tell exactly where that holding might have taken place, but I do actually see it. It was right in the interior part of the line there. He had a nice little dive play, and we actually just kind of took him to the ground and laid on top of him. So that's probably the call where they got it. But, man, they moved that back quite a ways there.
Well, it happened. It's 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so you back up 3 or 4 yards, and so, it ends up being about a 15-yard penalty. So it's first down and long, 1st down and 24, it says on the score clock. So 1st and 24 for Smoky Valley, trying to catch them off guard with the pass play. Backfired on us on 1st down. So still 1st down, I formation behind Jake Lucas. Turning and hand it off to Kennedy, trying to get outside, still trying to get outside. Got a little bit of room, and he'll get up near the 40-yard line before he's run out of bounds. So pickup of 3 or 4, maybe 5, depending on, he's not going to quite make the 40-yard line. A good effort on 1st down, though, to get it 2nd down, and we'll call it a 4-yard gain. Maybe not. I was trying to help him out there a little bit. Didn't get quite as much as we hoped.
Yeah, about the 37. I think you had him close to the 40.
Yeah, I did.
I actually thought it was a really nice run there. He timed it well. He strung the play out nicely, and it looked like he might be no gain, but he was able to stretch it out far enough to pick up a few yards. Just ran out of real estate on that far side.
2 receivers near side. Flanker also near side for the Vikings. Shotgun formation for Jake Lucas. Rolling near side, still rolling, looking out in the flat, caught by Kennedy. It is Kennedy with the catch. pickup of about 4 or 5 more. It'll be up to the 41 or 42. And it's going to be third down and long.
Yeah, immediately wrapped up by Plummer here on the near side. It was a nice little throw, a timing pattern there with Kennedy right as he comes out of his break. Jake Lucas puts a nice ball to him. But again, that 14, what ends up being a 14-yard penalty there on the Vikings to open up this half really puts us back behind the ball a little bit. And, we've had a couple of nice little plays there, but they haven't amounted to enough to even get us half of that yardage back.
Yeah, first and 10 and great field position has kind of hurt the Vikings now. I formation behind Lucas, who goes back under center. One receiver wide each way, still looking on the flat side. He goes out to Wally Wilson. He gets away from one tackle, gets away from the third tackle, but driven down about the 45-yard line. So it's going to be 4th down and 11 for the Vikings, but good effort by Wilson. He comes up hobbling a little bit, but good effort by Wilson to get something out of that play.
Yeah, Raleigh had to do a lot of that himself that time. Broke the first tackle. Hats off to Brant Hebel because he had a chance to get a big block in the back on the side, which would have really pushed the Vikings back. Instead, he made a fine decision there, laid up. It allowed the tackler to get to Wilson, but it didn't give us the loss of yardage.
Good snap by Kennedy. Good kick by Kennedy. Whaley goes way back inside the 15-yard line, trying to get outside. Still trying to get outside. Brant Hebel's got a good angle on him, and he's going to tackle him for a short return on the play up to near the 25-yard line. That's where Rock Creek will have it 1st and 10 on their first possession.
Got a little laundry over there about the 48-yard line right in front of the Rock Creek bench, so we'll discuss that here real quick, find out what that is. But another great play by Brant Hebel, corralling him, keeping him in, not allowing him to get the edge, and was able to force him out of bounds after a short gain.
Man in the white hat's got a microphone. Wow. Was prior to the play?
That's what I heard him say prior to the play, 10-yard penalty. He did say
personal
foul. What did he say?
Personal foul.
I said personal foul, but then he said 10-yard penalty. I thought he said.
But he said automatic first down.
He did say automatic first down Smoky Valley, is the way I understand it. They're doing some explaining to the Rock Creek coaches over there on the sideline where the play went out of bounds. And the Vikings have their offense out on the field, but they're marking the ball back down here on the other side.
They're going to have a discussion about this because if it was post-kick, Rock Creek would keep the ball and penalize them from where they got it out of bounds. If it was during the play but pre-kick, they're going to take the ball back to the original line of scrimmage and step it off. So
that's a huge play for Smoky Valley.
Huge break.
If you're Rock Creek and you had us push back to 1st and 24 and had us at 4th and 12, now you're going to get that penalty that's going to move the ball back across the 50-yard line down into Rock Creek territory looks like it's going to be right about the 40. That's going to be a perfect opportunity for the Vikings and a first down.
Some kind of personal foul penalty pre-kick. So that had to be pre-kick or they wouldn't have penalized them. I don't totally understand that. We'll have to remember to ask Coach Henderson about that. That could be a punt and then a penalty.
I couldn't tell what happened. I know they had an extra player on the field there for a second when that ball was kicked too, unless they went one down. But, it's really hard to tell because the screen moves there on the punt, so really couldn't see anything where that flag went down to be able to witness it directly. But definitely an interesting change of events here for Smoky Valley.
And they keep the ball, and they have it 1st and 10 inside Rock Creek territory at the 40-yard line. I formation behind. Here comes Raleigh Wilson. He's got a little bit of room. Second effort, third effort. Gets a pickup of about 3.5 yards. 2nd down and 7 for the Vikings. Good effort by the front group there. That ought to get Rock Creek fired up if you're a Rock Creek fan, but they don't give the Vikings a very good spot on that one. He only gets 3 yards. 2nd down and 7, we'll call it. Right at 10 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Vikings' first possession, they punted, but then this penalty, whatever it was, happened, so they keep the possession alive. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Looks like a lot of movement. There comes Raleigh Wilson. First down yardage and more in the backfield of Rock Creek. So great effort by the front group to get Raleigh Wilson a little gap, and he gets first down yardage.
Yeah, according to our guy Mike Rose,
Yeah.
they said it was an illegal participation penalty over there. But
that's a personal foul.
Yeah,
I thought that was a 5-yard penalty.
I didn't think that was a personal foul, but
Wow.
we'll let Mike do the reading of the rule book for
Yeah,
us and
thank you, bud.
pass that down. But that's good to hear. And so again, that time it almost looked like the Vikings might have been lined up too far in the neutral zone there on offense, and you saw a little bit of movement. But Raleigh Wilson ran the ball hard, picks up the first down. The Viking offense rolling again.
So first down, Vikings, I formation again. Here comes Wilson again. Now they stop this one, another penalty on the Vikings. So the Vikings are having a little bit of penalty issues, a motion penalty, first down and 15. It'll back it up to the 30-yard line. They were about the 25. It'll go just outside the 30-yard line this time. I know officials, my kids that officiate, when they officiate, they certainly like turf fields because the lines are always straight. The lines are always true. We've had, like last week when we were at Halstead, they didn't even have any yardage markers other than the little tent things that were covered up by players most of the game. So we were really struggling last week.
You know, Halstead's kind of nice because you're a little bit lower and you have a really nice view of the field. But you're right, as far as the line markers and the numbers, those are really tough.
I formation on first and 15 for the Vikings. Lucas turns and hands it off to Kennedy, trying the middle. He's got a little room. He's across the 25 down to the 22-yard line. So nice run by Kennedy of about 8 yards.
Yeah, the Vikings are doing a great job again on the line to open up this half on this rekindled drive, their first drive of the second half. And again, the running backs, at least the deep guys like Kennedy, aren't really seeing any contact for about 2 or 3 yards of the first part of the play. That time Trey was able to carry another runner or another defender for about 2 or 3 more yards there before he was finally taken down.
So second down, and we'll call it 7 for the Vikings, a short 7. Lucas under center, hands it off the first guy through. Wilson's got burst of room, and he's inside the 15-yard line. First down in the neutral or in the red zone. The Next Tech Wireless red zones, lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless red zone.
Yeah, bowling through the line that time was Raleigh Wilson. Took on the cornerback or the linebacker once he got through that first wave. A lot of contact, but not before he gets a first down all the way down to the 13. And again, Viking offense rolling and rumbling down the field right now.
And taking time, 7:50 and counting here in the third quarter, the opening possession of the quarter for Smoky Valley. I formation behind Lucas, change a little bit of front with the offensive line. Here comes Kennedy. He's got some room. He's inside the 10, churning toward the 5-yard line. He won't quite make it, but a nice pickup of a 5 or maybe 6 yards.
Yeah, again, no contact there for Kennedy until he made it down to about the 9, and then finally carrying contact all the way down to about the 7. So it was an excellent job by Kennedy of hitting the hole hard, a little bit of a misdirection there, and he takes it to the near side and gets the Vikings in a good downhill position with second and about 4.
Second and 4 it is. 6-yard gain by the Vikings on first down. They love that kind of push on the front there, like in lineman Skylar Hopkins and Justin Holt and Grant Lykesell Alkire and Court Sugar and Dax Hop doing a super job. Here comes Wilson busting that left side. He's going to get down to the 5-yard line. It's going to be third down and a short 2.
Keep him honest, keep him having to pay attention to that fullback dive, and that's exactly what they do there. Been hitting the edges just a little bit more in the last few runs, but you bring Raleigh to bruise back up the middle. And again, just a nice time-consuming drive. It looked like we were going to be in big trouble there early until the illegal participation call there. And then all of a sudden the Vikings continue this drive and now have taken up nearly half the quarter in this drive.
Absolutely perfect drive to start off with that second chance penalty you talked about. I formation with a flanker to the left side, right in the middle of the field. Now the flanker, Peters, comes in motion to the near side. Kennedy trying the other side. He's got room. He's got touchdown. Trey Kennedy with 6:04 bursts it in from the 5-yard line, and the Vikings go up 28-15.
Yeah, beautiful run, taking it to the far side of the field there. Again, a little blitz action set up by Rock Creek. They just didn't pick the right gap. Good blocking on that far side, and Kennedy was able to take it in from 5 yards out. That'll be Kennedy's second touchdown of the night. What a great run, great finish. Now the Vikings have a chance not only to be 28-15, but a chance to double up Rock Creek here with this 2-point conversion.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get this 2-point conversion. Big conversion here. I formation behind Lucas, who goes under center. Flanker to the near side now. A timeout. Smoky Valley calls a timeout. Kind of an unusual timeout after you just score, but I didn't see the play clock. Was it running down? So
I think we were at 1. I think it was one of those again where it kind of bit us a little bit. Weren't quite as ready as what we thought we were. They were trying to hurry up and get the play called. Really didn't even have the play coming in from the sideline. If you're watching their review on the Smoky Valley Live, we didn't break huddle till about 6. And so, they were just getting to the line of scrimmage when the play clock hit 2. So good decision to make that call for the timeout there.
We've had all our 2-point conversions except for the one we had a penalty on. So, you want to convert this one to give yourself a 15-point lead if possible. 6:04 left to go, so the Vikings get it and drive it and take up a lot of time here. Is it 12-minute or 15-minute quarters?
12-minute.
12-minute quarters, so almost half of the quarter in this first drive. So the Vikings are ready now, planning their play. They've had good 2-point conversions with Raleigh Wilson right up the middle. We'll see what they choose to do.
Yeah, I want to point out about 90 people now watching on Smoky Valley Live. So, again, tuning into a great offensive outburst tonight by the Vikings, already up to 28 points and a chance for 2 more right here.
Stay with I formation, double tight, flanker left. Lucas under center puts a man in motion to the near side. That's Peters. Turning hand. No, he's going to go back to himself. Lucas right in the middle, knocked down. Pass knocked down intended for Haven Lysell Stewart, but it's knocked down incomplete. And with 6:04 left to go in the third quarter, Vikings up 28-15 back after this 30-second timeout.
Do you feel the need for seed? How about the need to save? Get both with the early pay discount from Phelps Seed, your Pioneer sales professional. Buy before December 12th and your fields will get...
Please report to the press box.
Personal foul, so we'll take what they give us, and tonight that's maybe a little boost from the officiating crew.
Yeah, I'm certainly not going to argue it. We'll definitely take it, but one of those where when you're not privy sometimes to what's going on out on the field, don't know for sure what the call was. We think we know what it was, but always interesting to see how that's interpreted. And again, the Vikings are kicking off.
Kennedy to approach the ball. Knuckleball kick bouncing on the ground, taken by one of the up guys, 41, and he's bruising his way across the 35 and up near the 40-yard line. So good effort by that young man. He picked it up. I haven't called his number at all, number 40. He doesn't even have a 41 in the book. Did I read the number wrong?
It's 43.
43, okay, little 3. Thank you.
Vinduska.
So Vikings lead it, and Rock Creek with their first possession now of the second half, coming at the 5:58 mark. So they lost a half a quarter just on the great. Sometimes the good offense is your best defense. Rock Creek sends one receiver wide each way, flanker to the near side, pistol formation for Killingsworth, hands it off to Whaley trying the near side, and he's going to get across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line, so gain of about 3 on the play. Or that was Forge, not Whaley. So good Viking defense to start their first defensive set. Grant, Alkire, Lysell playing both ways tonight, doing a great job. Dax Hop in the middle, along with 77, Justin Holt, and 74, Skylar Hopkins. So great effort by all those guys. Pistol formation again, high snap. Quarterback's going to keep it this time. He's got some running room. He's across midfield and down to the 40, a foot race, and Andrew Peters will catch him, but a big burst by Killingsworth, who has been pretty quiet, gets him down inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he's such a quick runner, and that time I don't know if I think coach is a little angry again that our key guy kind of missed him there, but that's a 37-yard run and a quick play by Killingsworth, taking the ball after the fake and just taking it right up the middle against the Vikings, and he was one step away from getting between Brant Hebel and Andrew Peters there. Andrew made a nice play, was able to get him corralled and take him down and stop the touchdown.
1st and 10. Rock Creek, a high snap. He's going to take it again himself. He's going to get wrapped up this time. The coach got his team, his message out there to stop him, but they are inside the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service. For everywhere you are, say goodbye to being just a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. Quarterback Killingsworth has been calling his number this entire drive.
Yeah, he really has, and he's, again, able to make such big plays at such big times. So, with a team like that on the field, they can take advantage of some opportunities pretty quickly. But if the Vikings have planned to key on him, they need to make sure that the key remains on him the rest of the night.
Wide receiver each way for Rock Creek. He's rolling out now, goes back on the near side. Brant Hebel needs to turn around. Flag comes in the end zone. Touchdown on the play. Intended receiver and catching the ball for Rock Creek was number 3, Zinger. Touchdown from the 20 or the 19-yard line.
Yeah, good effort there by Brant Hebel. He was beaten deep at the very beginning of that play and had to try to catch up. They did actually end up calling a defensive pass interference on that play. Of course, it is going to be declined, but it was a nice job by Zinger returning back. The play was left to the inside short. Hebel ends up running into it. Never got his head around to see the play. He did catch up to the receiver, but a quick strike there. Less than 2 minutes it takes for Rock Creek to get back up the field and get a score, and now they're right back in the game down by 7, 28-21.
Going to go for 2 here. I thought maybe they would kick the ball, but they're okay with going for 2-point conversion. Trying to make sure they're going to decline the penalty, which obviously they will. They're not going to take penalty yardage and redo the play if it's a touchdown. So a 2-point conversion try coming. Killingsworth will be in that pistol formation with Forge right beside him in the backfield, wide receiver each way. And a turn and keep it to Forge, trying to get outside, and he's not going to make it. Good second, third, and fourth effort by the Viking defense, and the 2-point conversion fails. And our score with 4:07 left to go in the third quarter, Rock Creek trails the Vikings 28-21. Back after this 30-second timeout.
And that was 4 plays.
People's Bank and Trust takes pride in its heritage of service to the customer and features 12 locations in central Kansas. People's Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Smoky Valley and Bethany College. Member FDIC.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Anderson Field, Lindstrom Brothers Stadium, Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. Get it the right way here. Is where we're at for Smoky Valley football tonight. It's senior night. They will have another home game next week, but it is senior night. You don't know that in the regular season, so you got to schedule your senior night on the regularly scheduled 4th home game. So the Vikings are ready to take this kickoff. They lead 28-21 with 4:07 left to go in the third quarter. That Rock Creek drive taking 1 minute 55 seconds, covering 61 yards. Approach to the ball. Another short high kick. This time Kennedy's going to come up and take it about the 25-yard line. Try to get outside. He's got a little bit of room of 30, 35, 40. Going to cut back toward the middle and get bear hugged, tackled by that number 43 we mentioned earlier on their kickoff. But he gets across the 45 up to the 46-yard line. Good return by Kennedy.
Yeah, it really was. Got the ball cleanly in the air, brought the ball from the far side back to the near side. Like I said, caught it probably about 28 or 29 and was able to gain yardage all the way out to the 46. So a nice return by Trey Kennedy. Again, setting up the Vikings with a relatively short field. I tell you, the last time they were here was the last possession, and they end up scoring in nearly 6 minutes. So you take another 6-minute drive right here. We're well into the fourth quarter by that time.
First down, Vikings, I formation, wide receiver each way. Here comes Raleigh Wilson. He's across midfield. He's the 45. He's got first down yardage inside the 45 to about the 42-yard line. Nice big burst by Raleigh Wilson.
Great run up the middle by Raleigh. Again, a quick hitter. We mentioned it down at the goal line. Need to keep him honest there by the fullback. I think there was a little baby expectation the Vikings may go to the edge again, which is what we've done out here in space a little bit more lately. But this time, Wilson hits a nice hole right up the middle created by that line that's having a great night tonight. And he takes the ball up the field for the Vikings for their first down on this drive.
Wilson has to tie his shoe. Officials back there giving him time, telling him to put the play clock back to 25, and they do. Raleigh's having a hard time. Don't you have to learn to tie your shoe in kindergarten? He's a senior in high school. It's taking him a long time. Now we got a stoppage of play by the officiating crew.
I think they're going to add some time back on the clock.
They're going to Vikings are going to re-huddle here. 3:16 left to go here in the third quarter.
3:24 on the clock. 3:24.
So they are putting time back. I didn't hear what he said.
Yeah, I think he's going to go back to 3:24. It's 3:16 right now, so they're going to go back to 3:24. Give that time back to Rock Creek there. And I don't believe they're going to start it again until he's going to go ahead and wind it. So it is still going to give the Vikings a little bit more time to take off the clock. So it's kind of an advantage either way there.
Yeah, Vikings have an advantage. They lead on the scoreboard also 28-21. I formation with a man in motion. Andrew Peters to the near side. Coming to Kennedy, trying to get the outside. Now cuts it back toward the middle. Rolls over a would-be tackler at the 35 down to the 34-yard line. That was just power running. I think it was Haven Lysell Stewart with the block.
It was. And again, like we said before, Kennedy's getting about 3 or 4 yards up the field before he's finding any contact. So he's the one able to initiate the contact because he's the one running downhill as opposed to guys hitting him at the line of scrimmage. Right when he takes the handoff, he's able to initiate a little bit of the punishments.
You love running with plays with second down and 2. Peters in motion again to the near side. Wilson again with the ball across the 30 down to the 25. Chugging and churning his way across the 25 down to the 24. So big pickup again by Raleigh Wilson. He must have been needing to get his shoe tied earlier.
Yeah, what a phenomenal game plan by the Vikings, though. They're executing things offensively and defensively very well tonight. I know that was a really quick last drive by Rock Creek, but we're forcing that Rock Creek defense to spend a lot of time on the field, and we're eating up a lot of clock. And this is what Smoky Valley football has been so much over the course of the last few years.
Yeah, long sustained drives. Andrew Peters wide to the near side this time instead of in that flanker formation. I formation behind Lucas. Here comes Wilson again, punishing a would-be tackler for 3 yards. So they closed the gaps a little bit down there. Now they're inside the 25-yard line, knocking on the door of the red zone again. But they stiffened their defense a little bit, but the Viking linemen still pushing for 3 yards. That's a good gain inside short yardage area.
We'll take 3 yards in a cloud of dust any time here. Not much dust coming up off the turf, but we'll take it. But again, that offensive line is just doing their job, hat on a hat, and making plays.
Making plays it is. Second down and 7 for Smoky Valley. I formation with a flanker near side. Peters tossed, trying to get outside to Kennedy, looking for his blockers. And boy, he's manhandled that time. They meet him right at the 20-yard line, and he cannot get between or around either one of those tacklers as they came one from each side, and it's no gain on the play. 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, Coach not real happy with his receivers on this near side. I think one block is what we missed out there and just weren't able to quite get him. But if we get that one extra block, I think we do pick up 3 or 4 yards there. But he came off the edge quickly, was able to escape and get around our split end out there, and he was able to make a big tackle right about the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, under a minute we go. 3rd down, wishbone formation this time for the Vikings. Fake. Looking down in the Brant Hebel, wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Smoky Valley, a 21-yard touchdown pass, and they were certainly not expecting pass.
What beautiful execution there. I mean, he comes off, keeps the ball down low, gives the illusion that he's handing the ball off, faked it to the first guy through. Wilson fakes to the second guy through. Peters, you're thinking the defense is selling out. We don't pass the ball very much. We actually came out of the wishbone formation, and we have not thrown the ball out of the wishbone much at all this this year. Comes right out of there. Hebel broke off the line, absolutely free and clear in the end zone. Beautiful strike from Jake Lucas to Brant Hebel.
Wishbone formation again for the 2-point conversion. Turn and hand it off to Kennedy. He's going to get met at the line, and he's not going to be successful. And our score with 37.9 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Vikings up 34-21, back with the ensuing kickoff after this 30-second timeout.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina is the perfect place to get that one-of-a-kind item for yourself or that special someone. Vernon Jewelers, located at 123 North Santa Fe in downtown Salina, is a proud supporter of area athletics.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Time. we're turning back the clock to the last few years when we've had such great running ability and throwing a pass here and there. That was a 21-yard pass from Jake Lucas to Brant Hebel, just perfectly executed. He had his choice of receivers to go to. He had 2 receivers in the end zone and 1 defender, and he had to choose which way. And I think Lucas must have looked him off because he chose Brant Hebel, and he was wide open.
More importantly, the Vikings have dominated time of possession, 19-30 to 12-23. I know it's only 7 minutes, but you figure that's quite an amount of time now over the course of 3 quarters that we've had the ball 7 minutes longer than a team that put up how many points last week? 54 points last week from that offense for Rock Creek. The Vikings have held them to 21 at this point.
Kennedy to kick off once again. See where it goes. Approach to the ball, a line drive, knuckling ball, bounces up, taken at the 20-yard line by Whaley, trying to get up the middle, now cuts back up the middle, now cuts toward the side, but good kick coverage for Smoky Valley.
Yeah, nice job getting down the field there and being able to make the play in the interior. We had a number of Vikings in there kind of corralling him, but last few to get up out of the pile there, we've got number 74 in there, Skylar Hopkins, and I believe number 54. Again, we call his name a lot. It's Court Shugren. Shugren's done a nice job, again, making the move from a running back to open the season, going into the offensive line, and I think he's really made a difference there, but also the job that he's done defensively this year. What a great job by Court.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Killingsworth in that pistol formation. Takes the snap. Going to hand it off to Forge this time. He's got some running room. He's across the 35, churning and trying to get up to the 36, and he'll make almost the 37. But that's about a 4-yard gain on first down, and that will be maybe the last play of the third quarter. We'll see how quick Rock Creek wants to snap the ball. 10 seconds, 9. If they get it snapped quick, they'll make it. Otherwise, they won't. The back official watching the clock carefully. That is the end of the third quarter. Our score after 3 quarters, Smoky Valley on top, 34-21. Back after this 1-minute timeout.
Qualifications and rules.
Price. Choose Bethany College. Learn more about your good life at bethanylb.edu.
The Vikings play here.
As the fourth quarter happens here, Rock Creek with it, third down now and long. Quarterback's going to keep it himself, running up near first down yardage, but he'll be just short. It's going to be fourth down. Or am I looking at? It's going to be third down and short.
Yeah. Another nice run by Killingsworth there right up the middle. And again, when they have been successful, it's been Killingsworth having something to do with it. Either it's been a pass where he ends up hitting Whaley, or it's been a run on his behalf where he sizes up the angles. But the Vikings have done a really good job at least making them take some time off the clock as they've gone to do things. It hasn't been a quick strike. That last drive didn't take long. But again, the Vikings countered with a nice long offensive drive of their own.
Snap, handoff on the backfield. Forge has it, but he's wrapped up. He gets through would-be tacklers, and he's going to be right at the first down marker. I think he's going to be a little bit short. So I think it's going to be short.
Dax Hopp was the first one to get a hand on him and be able to slow him up. I know he wishes that he'd been able to finish off the play because he had him for a 2 or 3 yard loss, but then he was able to escape. A number of Vikings had to come help. They are going to call a timeout on the field here to get a measurement and at least take a look at it, but it looks like they'll bring the sticks across and give it a good look-see.
I want to thank our sponsors again that help us with our portion of the broadcast, including Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tesket, Viking Auto, Christian's Funeral Home, People's Bank and Trust, Mari at Caldwell Banker Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, Arn Reinert CPA, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farm Bureau, Farmer State Bank, Lindsberg Family Dental Care, Gallant Tire and Auto, Old Stuga, CNL Heating and Cooling, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, and Dower Welding. It is fourth down. We've got some scores here. Republic County 62, Sacred Heart 14 after 3. South 41, Newton 17 after 3. Smith Center, did I do them already? No. Smith Center 27, Elseline 0 after 3. Fourth down, bad snap. Back and there goes Killingsworth, and the Vikings are going to have the ball on a bad snap on fourth down. Things are going Vikings' way.
Wow, what a play. You got a fourth and short. The Vikings had them stopped right there on third down, and they were going to the line quickly. Of course, I was just getting ready to point out, unlike Chapman a few weeks ago who went under center and were able to pick up some really good quarterback sneaks, this team does not do that. That snap came out extremely hot, a good foot to a foot and a half over the head of Killingsworth. He really had no chance at getting at it at all, and the Vikings were back there quickly, and they will take over at the 28-yard line, headed downhill again as they come out in their wishbone formation.
Lucas under center, long play count. Boy, this is a celebratory formation. Here comes Wilson. He's bursting through across the 25 down to the 24. He'll get about 4 yards on the carry, second down and 6.
Good to see that bounce in the step of the Vikings right now, which we have not seen in very many second halves in recent weeks because it's been such a tough road to hoe there, getting to the point of the second half and the fourth quarters. But now you're seeing a group of guys out there, especially these seniors playing on senior night, seeing themselves up right now by 13 and a chance to make it even more.
Rock Creek trying to, what's happened? Here comes Kennedy trying the left side. He's got some room. He's inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone, right at the first down sticks, and I think they're going to give the Vikings a first down. Let's see. They are moving the chains. Vikings have it 1st and 10 inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service. For everywhere you are, say goodbye to just being a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. Viking offense and defense are just playing so well tonight.
Yeah, everything's clicking on both sides of the ball, and you got to love that.
I formation behind Lucas. Flanker is Peters on the far side. He goes in motion to the near side. Turn and hand it off to Wilson up the middle. He's got short yardage inside the 15, so he'll still pick up, falling forward, keeping his legs churning about 3 yards.
And nice submarine play there by the defense. A couple of scores from the area again. Mountain Ridge gets beaten by Little River tonight, 54-0. We got a couple from around the league as well. Kingman up 16-3 on Larned. Opie 49-13 over Hillsboro. 21 all between Heston and Clay Center. That is a ball game there. Nickerson has taken the lead now on Pratt, 22-21, and Hoisington up on Norton, 10-0.
The Vikings facing second down and 7 here. Wishbone formation again behind Lucas. Turn and toss, trying to get Peters outside, trying to cut outside, trying to run through a tackle, and he gets a little bit of yardage. Good third effort, second and third effort, trying to Killingsworth was one of the would-be tacklers there that Peters was just able to keep his legs churning and get 2 more yards.
Yeah, what a great job there. It looked like he was going to be stopped for no gain, if not a loss. really a lot of pressure coming back into the defensive or offensive backfield, and then Peters just had forward lean and was able to get his body through a little gap there and pick up just a couple of yards to save a little something and make it a 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 for the Vikings here in the Next Tech Wireless red zone, knocking on the door to put him up by 3 scores. 2 scores, 3 scores. I formation this time. Here comes Wilson hopping through, and he's got near first down yardage, but it's going to be 4th and short for the Vikings inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Connor Richards was able to get him. Raleigh did an excellent job with a little hop through, but you give up so much of your strength momentum. Richards was able to gather him up, and once he did, he was able to keep a hold of him. And you're right. I think if Raleigh's on full head of steam, I think he picks up those couple more yards. But in this scenario, he's taken down just about a yard and a half shy.
Clock continues to run. Under 8 minutes we go here. Facing 4th and a long 1, short 2 here inside the 10-yard line. So big 4th down here for Smoky Valley. The linemen trying to adjust their spreads. Turn and hand it off. No, he's going to keep it. Here comes Kennedy. He's got first down yardage at the 5-yard line. Wow, what a pile of humanity in several different parts of the field.
That was an interesting play because it looked like Lucas came out a little late and had to really stretch to get the ball to Kennedy so that he could actually get it and be able to run with it. Whether that first fake there to Wilson took a little bit longer, I think, than what he expected. But a great job of executing, being able to get the ball into Kennedy's hands and allow him the opportunity to get up the field and get the first down.
Now you got 4 downs to get 5 yards. I formation behind Lucas, double tight end, flanker near side. Lucas turns and hands it off to Wilson. Wilson powering his way. Boy, he got hit by somebody there. Kind of pinwheeled him around, but he still gets down to the 2.5-yard line.
Best news here is tick, tick, tick. That clock continues to run as we go under 7 minutes here in the fourth quarter of the second half here, and the Vikings having a chance to push this to a 3-score lead here if they can get the ball in the end zone.
Boy, you'd like to see it, but boy, on the replay, did he get hit hard on that play?
Yeah, it was a great contact coming up from that backside. The linebackers flying through, and I think Killingsworth was even one of them that came through and got some contact in there as well.
Again, I formation with Peters, the flanker, on the near side. He goes in motion to the far side. Turn and hand it off to Wilson again. He's churning. The ball comes loose. Did the ball come loose, or was that
I think it did. I think it came loose, and Raleigh was able to get right back on it there.
So fumble on the Vikings, moves it back to the 5 yards. So it's 3rd down and goal from the 5. Well, at least it wasn't a big momentum switch on a fumble, but the Vikings now have back to the 5-yard line, 3rd and goal from the 5.
Closer we've gotten to the end zone each time. They've really done a nice job of blitzing those A-gaps and trying to get an opportunity to stop us. And really, they just have to pin their ears back now if you're Rock Creek. You just got to come after the ball because you really don't want to allow an opportunity. And I think the Vikings here are going to let this clock run again. This is a big play call here on 3rd and 5. So I think they're going to let the clock run down, take a timeout here, and get the best play they can.
Yeah, and we'll keep it right here as the Vikings trying to decide what play to run on 3rd down and goal from the 5-yard line. But you got another option. You still looking at 4th down and see what you want to do. But you're right. We're at 5:43 left to go, and even if the Vikings don't score here, Rock Creek has to drive the length of the field twice to get it, and now you got them backed up on their own goal line. So you know the Vikings are going to go for it on 4th down if they don't make it on 3rd. But you got to also worry about you don't really want to throw a pass because if you don't score, that stops the clock. So many options to worry about here, so many things going on, and Viking coaching staff, which has a game plan superb tonight, superb game plan.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. Talking about this play here, you mentioned the fact it's probably 4-down territory here. I don't think the Vikings would have any qualms if they pick up 2 or 3 yards here or whatever happens on this play to run that play clock down again. Go ahead and use the entire 40 seconds and call your second timeout. Timeouts are the least of the Vikings' worries at this point in time. They want to get time off the clock and get an opportunity to not allow Rock Creek to have a lot of time.
They've used one earlier. Remember that early timeout on that extra point. So we used one earlier. That's the second one. So we only have one left. But you're right. You can still use it. 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line. Wishbone formation this time in the backfield for Smoky Valley. Double tight end formation. Lucas under center. Turns and hands it off to Kennedy trying the left side. He's going to be helped short. So he'll be held short. It's going to be 4th down now for the Vikings. He'll get about a yard is all he'll get. 4th down and 4 from the 4. 4th down and goal from the 4. And you're right. I think the Vikings are going to take a lot of time again.
Well, I think the other thing here, I don't know if you noticed, but Raleigh Wilson here on the sideline. So, I mean, you obviously want Raleigh in the game. He's just now headed back in after getting wrapped up. So if they run the play out there, which they look like they are with Brewster Bankston, now you've got Raleigh back in the contest. And so, again, if you don't break huddle here fast enough, you could definitely still take that last time out, or you try to punch it in. Either way, you've got a long field for Rock Creek.
I formation, flanker to the near side. Jake Lucas is going to snap it. He's going to turn and hand it off to Kennedy. Kennedy's trying the left side. He's not going to make it. Good tackle in there, led by Ben Wick, number 1, a junior. He's celebrating, and Rock Creek is going to take over on downs with 4:53 left to go. So the Vikings get the turnover on the bad snap from center on 4th down, but unable to capitalize it into points. But they certainly took a lot of time. I didn't put the time of the game down when they went for it on 4th down.
Yeah, but either way, it took about 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes off the clock there while they had the ball, if I'm not mistaken.
No, nobody scored. Nobody scored.
How much?
Here.
6 minutes?
5:58.
5:58 off the clock there in that drive, and now you forced Rock Creek to have 99 yards to run this possession. 98 yards.
3 receivers to the far side. Pass in the little pass over the middle by Whaley to Whaley. Vikings have it defended well. It picks up about 5, maybe 6 yards. The other thing you got to watch for is you get holding in the end zone. Does that become a safety? Holding in the end zone, even in high school, I thought it did. Now they get out of the end zone. So Killingsworth was standing running the play in the end zone. So it's 2nd down and 5 for Rock Creek inside the 10-yard line. He's dropping back to pass. He's still in the end zone. He's going down the middle of the field. Oh, boy, wide open is his intended receiver. And he gets out. Big yardage up near midfield. Number 3, Zinger. Somebody lost track of Zinger.
The Vikings kind of zoned that play up a little bit. You know, they're putting so many guys on one side, and you've got to really watch out for both. That first play, I thought Kennedy did an excellent job being able to make the tackle. This time, a 45-yard reception to Zinger, and so they get out of trouble quick, and now they're on the Vikings side of the field already with 4:13 and counting.
This drive now, remember, started at the 2-yard line. Killingsworth in trouble. Dax Hopp has got him. Intentional grounding. No, he's got a receiver, Ziger, there.
I think they're going to call him down anyway, though. I think his knee was down.
Yeah, but he had a receiver there. I thought it was going to be intentional grounding, but Ziger was there, or Forge was there in the backfield, but a huge loss on the play by Dax Hopp.
Yeah, great job by the Viking interior there, being able to get back there. And Dax was in there quickly. They've been able to manipulate this Rock Creek line of scrimmage and get back in the backfield and did a nice job there making that play.
Rock Creek decides to call timeout, I think. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're calling something from the sideline. Now they finally call timeout, and boy, that was about 3:45 when they were calling it, and it finally gets a timeout granted at 3:32. We'll keep this one right here. Again, thanking our sponsors who we just did, but they helped us all through the year, and they'll help us all during basketball, which you got to be coming up to. Are you having late night in the Valley pretty soon? Have you set a date?
We are. I want to make that acknowledgement real quick. Jason pointed out Grant Lysell Alkire was actually the one back there that made that sack. He was the one that shot up there. So, yeah, we do have late night in the Valley coming up November 22nd. You know, we start practices November the 18th. So, yes, November 22nd. I was just penning through that the other day. You realize this is the 17th straight year we've had late night in the Valley. It doesn't feel like it's been that many, but it sure has become a mainstay for the people in this community. We love it as part of our basketball program. It's a great night to get the community out and get them involved and kind of get them start thinking about the winter sports season, at least for basketball is concerned. And so the girls and boys program, again, putting that on. It's our major fundraiser for the year. We'll have the Chinese auction and silent auctions, and also hopefully have some live auction materials. So come out that night for a burger, some hot dogs. We'll get everything rolling, and we'll have more particulars coming in later. Maybe we'll have some more by next week already even. So right now, 2nd and 20. I think it's longer than 27. It seems like a long ways.
3 receivers to the near side for the Rock Creek Mustangs, 1 to the far side. Dropping back to pass, still dropping, looking for the screen. Now going deep down the side and way underthrown. Intended receiver was number 8 in there, LaRoque. But that was a big play, good Viking defense. I think they were setting up the screens, but the Vikings really snuffed out and smelled out that screen play.
Yeah, I actually think that was more of a fake design. I think they wanted to see if the Vikings would bite harder on that screen, thinking that with it being 2nd and 27, they may try to hit something short, hoping that they could go deep. But Smoky Valley stayed deep on that. I really thought maybe they'd do something a little mid-level here and not try to go for broke on that play. But they went for it, and now it's going to be 3rd and 27.
3rd and long, Rock Creek. Killingsworth dropping back to pass. He's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to get wrapped up. Great effort by who's going to come up with that tackle?
77.
I think it was Justin Holt in there again.
Holt
got a handful of jersey and was able to pull him down.
Wasn't going to let go. He was hanging on for dear life because if he wouldn't have made that tackle, he had some room to run. Now we're under 3:20 to go here. 4th and very long for Rock Creek. Whaley going back beside the quarterback in the backfield. 3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Now Whaley goes in motion to the far side, Killingsworth looking deep, looking down in the middle, and intercept, in and out of the hands of Trey Kennedy. Doesn't matter, it was 4th down, and the Vikings take over on downs. What job the defense has done this tonight.
What a fantastic job. Would have been great for Kennedy to have the interception statistically, but I tell you, position on the field, much better to be down there where they are going to get the ball at about the 37-yard line. But fantastic job tonight by this defense. You know, aside from one quick drive, 1 minute and 57 seconds of this quarter, or this half, the Vikings have shut down this team that dropped 54 points last week, and they have really done a nice job, controlled the tempo of the second half, and done pretty much exactly what they wanted to do here tonight, which was not allow this high-octane offense of Rock Creek to get going.
Wishbone formation for the Vikings here with another short field inside the 40-yard line. They're going to have to be blitzing and trying to get to the ball. Kennedy with it on the run. He's going to get inside the 35 and down to the 34-yard line, pick up of a good 3 yards. 3 yards, and each snap is what you want here when you're trying to run the clock out and win the game leading 34-21.
More importantly, ball security. They're going to be coming in and really ripping at that ball and punching at that ball, so it's going to be important for every Viking that carries the football here on this possession to hold on to. You don't want one to squirt out of there and get scooped up and be run back for a fumble 6 here or anything like that really closes this game back up. So use the time, control the ball.
Wishbone formation again behind Lucas, double tight end. Hands it off to Wilson. First guy through. He's got some running room. He's got some more running room. He's inside the 20, inside the 10. Chugging at the 5. Touchdown, Smoky Valley. Raleigh Wilson with a 35-yard touchdown run to put the icing on the cake.
Yeah, Wilson right up the middle. We thought maybe they would recognize that's where we were going to go because late in the game that tends to be our mantra. And Wilson breaks through the first wave of defenders, gets to the second wave, and he was gone. I tell you, looked like number 15, Spiller, tried to grab a hold of him, and Raleigh carries him for about the last 7 yards in for a 34-yard touchdown. That's Wilson's second touchdown of the night, and the Vikings are rolling now with 40 points on the board, lead 40-21 with 2:12 to play.
My goodness, what a night. Coach come asking for the official to come over here for some reason. I don't know what the confusion would be. But the Vikings put together this time a short field drive in one play or 2 plays. They just made it happen, and they got the bad snap and got the ball, but they couldn't put the ball in the end zone last time, but this time Raleigh Wilson getting an open field and starting to run did a super job and put 6 more points on the board. Got a lot of messages coming in, including one. Scott's here. Thanks for the update. My son Brian's in the box here with us, so he told us that.
Yeah, there was a penalty down in the end zone there, and I think one of the Rock Creek players was ejected from the game. I noticed him leaving the field, and the official made the movement that he is going to be ejected from the game. So
wow.
I think that's what they were coming to notify Coach Lambert about there, and couldn't quite tell the number there, and that's kind of a moot point. But so the Vikings here are going to be at the chance to go 2 more points up.
2-point conversion out of the wishbone formation again for the Vikings. Turn and hand it off to, no, Lucas is going to take it himself and throw it in the end zone. 2-point conversion is good by Haven, Lysel Stewart, and the Vikings lead 42-21. We'll be back with the ensuing kickoff after this 30-second timeout.
Give us a call at Hometown Outdoor Power in Salina, Minneapolis.
Amount of crowd tonight, but they had the little dancers with the wildfires, so they had another extra crowd, and yeah, they are penalizing them 15 yards on the kickoff. So the Vikings are kicking off from Rock Creek's 45-yard line, so that's going to probably be able to put the ball in the end zone. Hopefully Brandon Malm will be kicking off this time. Kennedy's been kicking off every other time, but Brandon will be kicking off this time for the Vikings. Just 2:12 left to go in the ball game.
What a great catch by Haven Lysell Stewart. Really sold out on that play in the deep corner of the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Got a toe down, was able to keep control of the ball and then handle.
Finish the catch. Brandon approaches the ball. High end over end kick is going to sail deep in the end zone, and Rock Creek will start from the 20-yard line, trailing now by 3 scores, 21-point lead for the Vikings. And we haven't talked about this since November of last year.
Yeah, this has been nice. I tell you, it's been a nice job. And we mentioned how impressive Rock Creek had been on film and their scores and the speed that they were able to demonstrate. And I tell you, the Vikings have matched them stride for stride tonight and gone toe-to-toe with them and played a really good football game tonight.
2 receivers each way for quarterback Killingsworth in the backfield, shotgun pistol formation where he's been all night long, running, scrambling out of trouble, pushing, throwing under pressure, and the intended receiver Zinger was well covered by the Vikings both in front and behind.
Tell you, Haven Lysell Stewart got in off the edge there, and he actually was right in the face of Killingsworth when he made that pass. And again, Killingsworth came up holding that right arm. So again, I think there was contact made on the arm and on Killingsworth. So he's had a lot of pressure tonight from these Viking defenders.
A lot of things can happen in this last part of the district here. Vikings certainly pulling a big upset tonight. Completed out in the flat to Whaley. Good tackle there by Brewster Bingson, coming up with a huge tackle on a good wide receiver and good speed. And the timeout on the field called by Rock Creek now with 1:56 left to go. 42-21 is our score. There's an injured player. It's not a timeout, it's an injured player. So an injured player on the field. Jared, let's take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back right after this.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Game day starts and finishes at Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg. Located at 101 North Main, this upscale one-of-a-kind establishment offers a wide variety of food and drink specials. Try their seasonal items or their world-famous Monte Cristo. Then wash it down with an ice-cold beer or tall glass of wine. Farley's Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln and Main in downtown Lindsborg. Farley's, your game day headquarters for the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
As Rock Creek player is helped off the field by a couple coaches, Killingsworth ready to snap the ball, 3 receivers far side. Dropping back, pressure coming up the middle from the Vikings, and again underthrown because of the immense pressure of the front 4 players in there. Doing a super job is, for the Vikings, number 40, Tristan Stambaugh coming in there, along with Dax Hopp, along with number 77, Justin Holt, and who's the 4th one up there in that group? Can't see his number. Brandon Malm's out there now, so they're all doing a great job over there of pressuring coming up the middle. 3 receivers to the far side on 3rd down. Or is it 4th down? Yeah, it is 4th and 5. Roughing back to pass under immense pressure again. Still under pressure now, just throwing it away. And the Vikings force a turnover on 4 downs again. and the defense has just been stellar tonight.
Yeah, great to see that excitement from those guys out there, and everybody just being so happy. I tell you, they were able to get through all the guys in the line were through, putting pressure on Killingsworth. He was backpedaling as hard as he could, really had nowhere to go with the ball. He clearly could not see any players up the field, and of course trying to pick that first down up. They are unsuccessful. The Vikings will take over on downs. Rock Creek does have 2 more timeouts left. Be interesting to see if they try to use them or just get out of here. But the Viking offense and defense just been amazing tonight.
Looks like the Vikings are going to go into victory formation. Don't expect Rock Creek to use their timeouts, trailing by 3 scores, but we'll see if they do or don't. Doesn't look like they're going to, but Vikings will, with 40 seconds on the play clock now. This is a new thing this year. We talked about it early in the year, but we certainly haven't been in any position to worry about using it. But the Vikings don't have to snap the ball again until it's under right at a minute left. And then obviously 30 or 60 seconds is less than 2 40-second play jobs. So the Vikings are going to win this game now. It's a penalty here. What is this? Unsportsmanlike conduct on Rock Creek again. Wow.
I think they just asked another player to leave the field.
Number 63 being told to get off the field. So that flag came from the person in the backfield. What is he able to hear from that the umpire wouldn't hear? I don't know, but not a good night for Rock Creek, penalty-wise.
And we were talking a little bit about that on that last one. I know their coach is kind of asking questions here about what exactly the calls are, but he's telling them. I pretty much just told him and walked away. So it's not been a good night across the board for Rock Creek. I tell you, Smoky Valley has done everything they've wanted to do. It looks like the composure of Rock Creek has been off now for quite a while, and just not quite one of those nights. A long trip up here from on the other side of Manhattan, and the Vikings have not allowed them any opportunities to do what they wanted to do tonight.
1st and 10 for the Vikings again, so they'll take a knee 2 more times, and this game will be over. So the celebration will start, and Mike sent over here, and that number 3 was a player ejected earlier in the game, and now number 63. So 3 and 63 both ejected. So I don't know if it was language or what it could have been, but we won't dwell on that. But the Vikings, what we are going to dwell on is how good the Vikings have played football tonight. This is what I expected a little bit of. I didn't expect the Vikings to win every game this year, knowing that this is a group that hasn't been gotten a lot of starts together. But I expected this team, since their JV schedule had been so good, to really play some competitive games. And they played competitive games, but they certainly dominated the line of scrimmage tonight.
They have, and what an exciting time down here for the student section as well, to be able to cheer on these guys that have worked so hard this season, including these seniors that have put in all this time over the last 4 years, and a good opportunity here on senior night to finish the way they believe they should finish. And like you said, an up and down rocky season for these young men, but this is what you try to teach. You teach that character to stay with it. You keep battling, and the Vikings pull away a victory tonight here on senior night, 42-21.
Our final score from Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. The Vikings win at 42-21. We'll be back to wrap this one up for you after this timeout.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lakin Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
People's Bank and Trust is proud to support the Lindsborg community and the athletes at Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College. I'm Ryan Biegert, branch manager at the Lindsborg location for People's Bank and Trust, a proud native of Lindsborg, and I'm ready to be your banker. People's Bank and Trust, meeting the needs of our community and always improving the way we do business. Located at 201 South Main in Lindsborg, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Vikes and go Swedes.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
7-day-a-week urgent care has arrived in Lindsborg. Open now at the Lindsborg Community Hospital. 7-day-a-week urgent care is open, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. on weekends. No need to be an established patient of the Family Healthcare Clinic. Everyone can enjoy the new convenience for those things that can't wait until tomorrow, but aren't serious enough for the emergency room. 7 days a week, urgent care at Lindsborg Community Hospital.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Coming up, player of the game, scores from around the area, final stats, and an interview with the coach. This is Smoky Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show, Generations of Confidence, Relationships for Life, member FDIC. Ask about their new Casasa checking account in Lindsborg, Salina, Lincoln, and Tesket. And joining us now, Coach James Henderson of the Vikings. And one thing I want to talk about before anything else in the game is that Coach Lambert has been telling me each and every week how good these guys have been practicing, how their effort has been outstanding, how there's been no give up in their effort. And boy, it showed tonight. What an effort you guys, your coaching staff put together, and this game plan tonight was just utterly outstanding.
Well, thank you. The credit goes to our kids. They just played. They kept, like you said, they've been practicing hard. Their attitudes have been right. They haven't, got down. They haven't, pointed fingers and blamed each other. They've stuck together. They've hung together. Coaches preach that to them, stay together. And we've preached to them, just keep fighting and getting better and trying to improve each week. And, it makes you feel good as a coach when those things come true, because it makes it seem like you know what you're talking about. And that's a lifelong lesson. You keep swinging the axe, you keep grinding, you keep getting after it, and eventually good things will happen. So I was so proud of our kids, and I'm proud of our coaching staff too, and did a nice job preparing for a tough team, a good team.
They came out and did what they do right. They drove it down the field, a 14-yard run for a touchdown, a 69-yard drive. Just kind of crammed it down your throat, but we answered right back. And, well, if you can do that, we can do that as well. We took the lead on a 2-point conversion, so that must have really pumped the Vikings up.
I think that, it's to have the lead and to have come back and got the lead, I think that boosted our confidence. And that moment right there, our guys, not only believed we could play with this team, I really think they started to believe, hey, we're going to beat this team.
They've matched up well size-wise. It seemed like every week we've been playing against them 280 or 290-pound defensive tackles in the front. This week we matched up better, but the offensive line and defensive lines tonight were outstanding.
Yeah, we did a little bit different scheme with our defensive linemen tonight, and that helped us. And then, got to give credit to our defensive tackles, Skyler, Hopkins, and then Justin Holt, just a freshman, just a pup out there. Justin was hard for them to block, and he got penetration, and he messed up and put a lot of pressure on their quarterback, knocked down a couple passes. He had a really nice game. But our defensive line did a good job of getting some pressure on their quarterback, who is a very good player.
Oh, obviously he can run the ball, he can throw the ball, but you always had a defensive player in his second half, in his face. Did you make some adjustments at halftime that schemed a little bit different? Because it seemed like you always had somebody in his face when he was trying to pass.
Well, yeah, we did some we use stuff that we have. We just haven't used it for a while.
Good.
And so it's nice to call a few things that you haven't called for 3 or 4 weeks or even practice, but the guys remember and execute it. So that was really nice. So, and our coaches on the sideline did a great job of making sure to remind the kids that they could, hey, remember this or that, and we're gonna do that again right now. And the kids were like, yeah, we remember that, and we'll go do it. And they executed it. So great.
I also got to ask you about one timeout Coach Lambert called early third quarter when the quarterback made a big run up the middle, and he called an immediate timeout and went up there and talked to maybe the crew of linebackers or something, because the quarterback had just gotten a big play. And I know his running ability from the pocket was something you practice on. But after that adjustment, he seemed to not get any freedom. And it seemed like then they had to punt the ball right after that. And then it seemed like our offensive line. So that timeout was a really important timeout at that point in the game.
It was, and we just had to remind some guys that, if they do their job and what we worked on all week long and at halftime, really, like we didn't make too many adjustments. We just talked about running some blitzes we hadn't ran for a while. But we just had to remind some guys that you got to consistently do your job. And we had a couple guys on the previous play not all do their job, and he just was reminding them of what their job was, very, very subtly, like he always does.
Yeah, I'm sure it was subtly. We talked about that. But anyway, it was a great effort by coaching staff, players, and everybody out there. Now you got one more game at home. You aren't going to make the playoffs this year, but nice to get this build and this confidence here and come in, and maybe we can get a big win next week as well.
We hope so. We hope we can build off this, and we know we're going to get matched up with a team that we should be able to play with and be competitive with for sure. And excited and would love to finish it, not only by playing well, but, winning it too would be great.
Well, we appreciate you coming up each and every week, and congratulations on a great all-around win tonight, 42-21, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, too. Our kids did a great job. Beat a team that nobody thought that they could beat. I'm so proud of them. Thank
Absolutely. You. James Henderson of the Viking coaching staff, and a great effort tonight, and getting a couple of scores to come in. Halstead beats Chapman 54-14. Cheney over Andale over Cheney 29-22. So that is
Is that a final? I had that one in the fourth, but I didn't know if that went finally or not.
That just went in the final. Okay. So that is it. And wow, what a victory for the Vikings. I'll recap some scoring for you. It was Rock Creek scoring on a 69-yard drive with 7:45 to go in the first quarter. The kick after was good, and it was 7-0. But the Vikings answered right back and scoring with 1:33 left on the clock. 2-point conversion by Kennedy, and the Vikings had an 8-7 lead late first quarter. Then the Vikings gave up another touchdown, a big pass play this time, a 49-yard pass from Killingsworth to Whaley. The point after conversion run was good, and Rock Creek led 15-8. But then the Vikings answered back a 3-play, 66-yard drive capped by a 59-yard run by Kennedy. The point after fail, and the Vikings trailed by 14-15. But then they got a 3-and-out, and Rock Creek gave them the ball back. And then another short drive or short duration drive, a long drive, 72 yards, was capped by a Peters 60-yard run. Point after run by Wilson was good, and the Vikings led 22-15 and held that lead in halftime. And then in the third quarter, the Vikings got the first drive. Looking like they were going to punt, they actually punted the ball. But a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct of some kind of personal foul gives the Vikings the first down. They keep the drive alive. And with 6:04 left to go, Kennedy scores on a 5-yard run to put the Vikings up 28-15. And then the Vikings defense again gave up a touchdown, a 61-yard drive, culminated in a 19-yard pass from Killingsworth to Zinger. The 2-point conversion failed, and it was 28-21 as the Vikings had taken the lead with a Kennedy touchdown, or extended the lead. And then the Vikings got another 3-and-out and got the ball back and drove 6 plays, 54 yards, culminating on with 38 seconds left to go in the third quarter, a 22-yard pass to, can't even read my writing, Brant Hebel. Kennedy point after was no good, and it was 34-21. And then driving the ball, Rock Creek was going to go for it on fourth down, and a bad snap gave the Vikings short field, but they couldn't do anything with it. Rock Creek held, and they took over then on the 2-yard line. But the Vikings defense stiffened again, and they got the ball back on a fourth down, and then Raleigh Wilson capped the scoring with a 34-yard run with 2:12 left to go. The 2-point conversion pass was good, and it was 42-21, and what what a night for the Viking offense.
Yeah, fantastic job by the Viking offense tonight, and the Viking defense. Like I said, held them to 21 points tonight. Only one of those scores in the second half, and the first one was the first drive of the game, and then the defense just really held on and did everything they had to do the rest of the way, and got a number of 3-and-outs, got a lot of pressure on a very talented quarterback who looked like he was going to pick the Vikings apart for the entire night, the way that first drive looked. But a phenomenal job, and I think we'll back that up with some stats here from Jason.
As you mentioned, it's a very strong night for Smoky Valley. Rock Creek with 278 yards of total offense to Smoky Valley's 406. The number of plays, Rock Creek 44 plays to Smoky Valley's 55. Rock Creek 186 yards through the air to Smoky Valley's 49. Rock Creek 92 rushing yards to Smoky Valley's 357 on the night. Third down conversions, we did a great job of getting them off the field. 1 for 8, Rock Creek was on third down to Smoky Valley's 7 for 12. Individually for Rock Creek, Charlie Killingsworth, 11 for 22 with 186 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. Rushing, Killingsworth leading the way as well with 15 carries for 69 yards. And then Skylar Forgy, 7 attempts for 23 yards. Receiving for Rock Creek, Brooks Whaley, 7 catches for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dawson Zinger, 3 receptions for 71 yards and a touchdown. And Dylan Plummer, 1 catch for 9 yards. Individually for Smoky Valley, Jake Lucas, 4 for 5 passing, 49 yards and a touchdown. Rushing, we had 2 100-yard rushers tonight. All season, we've only had 2 100-yard rushing games all season. Trey Kennedy with 24 carries, 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Raleigh Wilson, 21 carries for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Andrew Peters, 4 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. Receiving for Smoky Valley, Brant Hebel, 1 catch for 21 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Peters, 1 catch for 20 yards. Trey Kennedy, 1 catch for 4 yards. Raleigh Wilson, 1 catch for 4 yards. Defensively leading the way, Raleigh Wilson, 6 tackles. Haven Lysell Stewart, 5 tackles. Andrew Peters, 4 tackles. Skylar Hopkins, Court Shugren, 3.5 tackles. Justin Holt, 3 tackles. Trey Kennedy, Brewster Bankston, Dax Hop, each with 2 tackles. Brant Hebel, Grant Lysell Alkire, 1 tackle. And then Grant also had the 1 sack. Tristan Stambaugh and Caden Venables with half a tackle.
It is time now for the Next Tech Wireless Player of the Game. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. A lot more fun to pick a player of the game when you win, isn't it? I mean, statistically, we went from, a 50-something yard game last week on offense to 406 yards this week. Just some great things. What are your guys' initial thoughts?
Initially, I'd like to say, can we have a three-way
three-headed monster?
Three-headed monster with all 3 of our seniors rushing the ball. Kennedy, 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wilson, 133 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Andrew Peters, 78 yards and a touchdown.
I think that's like, if I'm doing math quickly, is that 356 yards between the 3 of them? I think that's pretty darn close right there.
I would like to throw in a vote for the whole senior class on senior night. I mean, offensive line-wise, we got mostly seniors. We got some younger players in there too, but the offensive and defensive lines, Coach Henderson talked about how good both of them did. Pretty much senior dominated in that group, and maybe on senior night with exceptional plays given to Kennedy and Wilson and Peters, but the whole defensive, the whole senior group might be a good way to go tonight.
I think that's a great way to go tonight because what a great night. I mean, you come in here with a season that's been a struggle, to say the least, but like you said earlier, the guys have really held their heads and their mantra has been the same. We're going to go out and play hard every single week. And, as a younger group of guys in there, those juniors and sophomores that are playing with them, there's nothing you love better than being able to send your seniors out with a victory on senior night, no matter how your season's going. So I like that vote for the seniors having a chance at that.
Well, I think that would be good for me if it's good for you guys, but exceptional play by Kennedy and Wilson and Peters, because they certainly have done a good job. And Jake Lucas, what a job he's done on a couple of those big passes, even though he didn't have a tremendous amount of yards. They were some pretty important long pass, 20-yard pass plays, both of those.
Yeah, just executed beautifully tonight, and even more importantly than that, no turnovers, I don't think, tonight. We have one fumble.
We had one that Jake, maybe two, that we both recovered both of them.
One on the punt, and then down by the goal line.
So what a fantastic job. So I definitely agree with the entire senior class. We do want to throw out a Salina Surgical scoreboard update. Opening their doors in 1999, Salina Surgical Hospital is proud to be partially physician-owned. From outpatient procedures to inpatient stays, talk to your doctor about having your next procedure at Salina Surgical Hospital, serving Salina and our surrounding communities. Salina Surgical is 20 years strong. Donnie, you want to start us out with a few?
I'll go Salina South 47, Newton 24, Salina Central 35, Hayes 3, final Minneapolis 25, Phillipsburg 0, Republic County all over Sacred Heart by the score of 62-14, Smith Center final, Smith Center 34, El Saline 0, and don't have an updated final. Ulysses was 34-6 over Abilene at the end of three quarters, so Ulysses is probably going to win that game. What have you got for some final scores?
Well, you mentioned that Andale score. They barely squeaked away one against Cheney, 29-22.
I think they were both undefeated.
Yeah, it was a heck of a ball game.
Yeah.
We talked about Andale and how solid they were, but that had to be a great game to watch tonight. It seemed to go back and forth a number of times. Kingman ends up defeating Larned 16-3. Of course, Larned was our opening opponent this year. Had a couple of tough breaks here late in the season.
They lost their quarterback.
They did, and we talked about that at the beginning of the season. When they have him, they're very good. When they don't, it's been a struggle. Heston just barely squeaks by Clay Center. 28-27 was that final. Olpe 55, Hillsborough 21. Nickerson comes back to defeat Pratt 29-21. Little River 54, Mound Ridge 0. Bueller was up 19-10 in the fourth over Winfield. That might be a final now. Canton Galva continues to roll. They win 70-0 over Harrington tonight. Lakin 42, Lions 14. McPherson 49, Circle 0. Garden Plain was up on Conway Springs with just a few minutes left. That was a bit earlier, 26-21, although Conway had cut the lead down. Halstead 54, Chapman 14. That was a final. Beloit 47, Russell 0, and Southeast of Saline over Council Grove 41-21. Been looking for some Haven updates tonight and haven't seen anything there. So not able to tell us who we're going to play next week and how that's all going to play out. So we'll try to keep our eyes peeled for that and get a good idea for that later on.
Chapman ends up being the odd man out on our district, so they'll host a game 2 against the winner or loser. I don't know which we play even. I think we play the winner of the Wichita Trinity and Haven game, so we'll see how that works out, but we'll have a home game. And Mike sent us a note. Lions lost to Lakin by the score of 14-42, so that is the other final we have. Any final thoughts on the victory tonight? What a great game tonight to call. And what a great game to witness here as the Vikings really play well tonight.
Yeah, such a busy second half. We didn't have a chance to remind people of the Wheat State Scoreboard Show coming up tonight, brought to you locally by RE/MAX Advantage Realtors from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL, where you can get a recap of this game. You better get your vocal cords ready for that one. That's going to be a long recap. Scores from the area and other wraps from various broadcasters around the Sunflower State. The Wheat State Scoreboard Show brought to you by locally by RE/MAX Advantage Realtors from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. What a night. I mean, you go through a year broadcasting a team and you see these guys in the hallways, at least on my behalf, every day. I know their attitudes have been great, but I also know they're pretty upfront kids, and their coaches are upfront as well. They knew this was a talented Rock Creek team coming in. That's the first thing every time I ask kids, what's the scouting report that you're hearing? They're like, they're quick. They move the ball well, and they can get up and down the field. They throw it a lot. That was a comment. And I think, they had a realistic nature to them that this was going to be a good team, but they came out here, executed game plans offensively and defensively. And I love that timeout that Coach called there because he wasn't happy. That's not what we practiced. That's not what we did. And he just mandated it right there in the spot. This is what we're going to do. And the guys came out and executed it so well right after that. And you just got to love that. It's really easy when you're having a rough season to just turn tail and run. It's not generally what Smoky Valley does at any of our sports. We tend to go to work and make things happen. So it was good to see those guys do that. Jason?
You think you hit it on the head right there.
We just needed Jason back from vacation.
No, we needed him back badly, but I totally agree with the attitude. Coach has said that each and every week, and I believe him. I'm not saying I don't believe him, but you know the kids deep down inside have to be hurting, and they could certainly give up. But he's mentioned how good they have been, and boy, it sure showed tonight how well they played as a team and how good they went, and just an outstanding game tonight.
And again, this is a group of guys, my youngest son's a senior, and I've worked with some of these young men for years, whether that be in basketball or football, when I helped coach middle school. And it just warms my heart so much to see those guys out there having their pictures taken after this game. And just what a good feeling. You live in the moment, and tonight's moment was a good moment. It was a good moment to have those young men be seniors tonight. It was a great moment to have them have the outcome that they did, and an even better moment to see all of them standing there together, having their pictures taken, and enjoying that time together. So I'm so proud of those guys and all that they've accomplished.
Football continues again next week with a home game, but I want to wish good luck to volleyball, good luck to cross country, good luck to Bethany tomorrow, and still a lot of fall sports going on.
And remember, volleyball is going to be on Smoky Valley Live tomorrow. Mike Rowe is going to have that set up, so if you have a chance to tune in at 2 o'clock tomorrow will be the first match. Again, it could be hopefully a really, really solid day for those young ladies. Had a rough Tuesday when we broadcast them, but you hope they can get that bad taste out of their mouth and get ready to go here again on Saturday. It's game time. It's postseason. You only have to beat people once. Just got to go out and take care of business. And good luck, like you said, to our cross-country runners tomorrow. Going to be a chilly morning, but hopefully a good morning as far as results.
That's supposed to warm up in western Kansas a little bit tomorrow, so hopefully it will be. Well, that'll wrap it up. A 42-21 victory for Smoky Valley here on senior night against Rock Creek. For Jared back at the station, for Jason, for Doug, this is Don wishing everybody a very pleasant good night. Don't forget Bethany football here tomorrow afternoon. 1:30, I believe, is the kickoff on the KCAC Football Network, and it'll be a fun one. Hopefully they can do the upset tonight for them like we did tonight here on the high school venture, and then we'll be back here next Friday night hosting either Wichita Trinity or Haven for our final game of the year. Take care, everyone. Good night.